It's week number 2, Thursday Night Thunder on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We got your Northeast Modifieds taking place at Williams Grove Speedway down in Pennsylvania, where we're set for a good one. Wide open racetrack, many grooves in the corners. We should be in for a treat. We begin with our 358 coverage. The 358 brought to you by our good friends at Venom Racing. Also later tonight, just around 9 p.m., we've got a good one as well. The Xfinity Trail road course racing at the Circuit of the Americas down in Austin, Texas, the home of the U.S. Grand Prix. Round number 6 of the Xfinity Trail brought to you by Tim Chapman Racing. Nice view of the observation tower as we're getting set to go racing here. So glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, everyone. Marty Scala with you. We'll be seeing Dean Reynolds in just a little bit when we get our big block coverage going here, but should be in for a fun one. We've got the 358s at the Williams Grove Speedway, wide open on the straightaways, in the corners. You got a lot off, though, obviously, on the big blocks here, but we're in for a good one this evening without a question. Race number 1 took place at last week, and taking home the win, Isaac Salas, the small block, the Northeast Dirt Modified King, I guess you could call it, on the Coast to Coast Racing League, took home win number 1 of the season. He won't be racing with us this evening in the 358, but holds a 3-point lead at the moment on Joseph Grandy. Practice is wrapped up and all in the books. We are now getting set to go for heat racing. No qualifying. Everything is set up by random draw. We're ready for heat race number 1. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Tim Chapman making some paint schemes in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Check them out at Flatline Racing Bodies. Field is set to go for heat race number 1. It's Superman Kurt Schatzer and Jeff Sharp, your front row. Row number 2 is Cody Graham and Joe Masso. Row 3, actually Isaac did make the field. Isaac Salas and David Tormashi make up row number 3. And then row 4, Patrick Spangler and Steve Bixler. Here's how the night is going to go this evening on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for our modifieds and big block feature attractions on the dirt. We'll have our heat races. Top 4 transfer into the feature. Everyone else, if we have to, will go to a B main. Heats are 8 laps. The B main is 10 laps. We'll then have our warm-up and then features. 358s are set for 25 laps this evening. The big blocks go at it for 30. Of course, later on this evening, we've got the Xfinity Series straight up race at Circuit of the Americas, which should be a fun one. 25 laps around the Austin, Texas circuit. No Spangler or Salas into the call to grid. And so we are just about ready to go. Let us know who you're rooting for in chat. We'll be sure to give you a shout out live and on the air. Schatzer, defending Rebel champion, has won in Monday Night Madness in the past. We are ready to go green. 8 laps, top 4 will transfer. Winner is on the pole for the 25 lap feature. Heat 1 is green. Door panel to door panel into turns 1 and 2. Schatzer gets the drive off the corner. Him and Sharp side by side. Down the back straight. Oh, look out, Masso goes tumbling. He clipped the wall down the back straight. Is all the way back to 6. Meanwhile, Schatzer leads the opening lap. It's Sharp and Graham that are side by side for second. Sharp looks for the advantage on corner exit. You ride on board with the driver of the 28. Fixed setups for the drivers here on Thursday night, so you'll see a lot of equidistant races. 6 laps hour heats, excuse me. Thinking of the 8 laps from Monday nights. I normally don't do Thursday nights. Filling in tonight, this evening, for the guys at Extreme E-Speed. Halfway home to the first heat. Here comes Cody Graham looking for that race lead. on Kurt Schatzer. No one to the right of him. He's got Superman cleared. Graham goes to the point for how long? He right on board from the rear bumper. He's got him clear. Sets up a side-by-side race for second with 2 laps to go. So you take a look from the Young Gun Creations blimp. About 2 car lengths separate each driver. Bixler tries to get into the thick of things. There he is in 4th. He, though, is 1.3 seconds behind the race leader. Schatzer with an opening underneath. I think Graham went wide off of turn 4. 1 to go, though, in heat 1. Schatzer may have one last shot in 3 and 4, but I got a good feeling that Graham's going to just shut the door in his face on the low line. Schatzer will have to go high if he wants to take the win, but he will not make it work. Cody Graham wins heat 1. He starts on pole position. Schatzer second, Sharp third, Bixler fourth. They make it into the show. And now we're ready for heat race number 2. Heat 2 brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Langdon Mechanical, based in the Hamilton area. And of course, their goal is to make sure that you've got 100% customer satisfaction guaranteed, whether it be service or getting customer support. Definitely check them out at langdonmechanical.com. Lineup for heat race number 2. Butch Baker, Brandon Templeton on the front row. No call for Butchie, though, to grid, so that puts Randy Shreves on the pole position. Craig Levin expected to start 4th. Row 3 was supposed to be John Krupa and Joseph Grandy. In row 4, Logan Wentz and Jason Butterfield. Langdon Mechanical, the second to none heating and air conditioning company in the Hamilton area, and promise our customers our own professionally trained Langdon specialists will be there every step of the way. We guarantee your customer satisfaction from start to finish, including sales, installation, and maintenance service of your heating and or cooling system. Every equipment sale, installation, and maintenance service call we make is backed 100% by Langdon. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We'll be sure to give you a shout out on the air. Drivers this evening following the Steve King Foundation Pace Car, phone to help the dirt track community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, race officials, track ops personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. Winner starts outside of row number 1. Sun starting to set here at Williams Grove Speedway. Pace car is in, again 6 laps, 4 transfer, bottom 4 to the B main if needed. Butch did make the call to grid at the last second, and so we're underway. Oh, we got trouble already from behind. That's Grandy and Krupa that went around. The race will lead early. Butchie up the racetrack, nearly makes contact with Templeton. And the top 4 all under a blanket. Lap 1, a dead heat at the line, but it's nipped by Brandon Templeton. High side right next to that cushion, next to the chocolate chips, I should say. That's where you're going to want to be. That's the entire race. Butch sends it deep once again, opens the door for Shreves. Doesn't go to the race lead yet. Race for 4th could be developing soon between Levin and Wentz, on board with the 610. The driver behind the 2 of them, Jason Butterfield, could be a factor. 21:48 last lap. That's the quickest of all drivers in this heat. Back up front for the race lead. Butch looks for some bite off of turn 4, but doesn't work to his advantage. Top 3 nose to tail. Back to the race for 4th, leaving up the track. Does this give a chance for Wentz to go for 4th? Yes, it does. Maybe the same with Butterfield. Better drive on exit. Near contact, though, down the back straight. Wentz let off just barely. He may have been too safe in that situation. Butterfield tries to pull up to the inside. Butterfield's got that car set for the bite. He knows the low line pretty well, and it's 3 wide off of turn number 2. Here's the look for the Young Gun Creations drone. Wentz is there. Here we go. 1 lap to go, and it's side by side at the line. Wentz has a chance at it. He can get it, but throws the slide job. Contact with Leavitt. Up the racetrack he goes. From that code, Butterfield gets sideways. Logan Wentz getting defensive on the final lap. He'll take the final transfer spot after starting from 7th. Templeton, Baker, and Shreves, the top 3. But Butterfield and Leavitt will not be happy at the way Wentz raced them, I'm sure about that. Solace is in the chat rooting for the Venom team. At least he gets to be a part of the broadcast tonight, too, by being in the chat, getting that shout out. So car count is just about 24. Don't believe we'll be sending anyone home. And so one more heat left to go. Heat race number 3 brought to you by Venom Racing, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. G.J. Boydell and Brian Lawson make up row number 1. Row number 2, Jeff Flero and Jeff Barker, the Brewerton Beast. Row number 3, Bob D. Good and Dean Reynolds. And then row 4 is Andrew Smith and Jacob Mossel, or Mossel. Just about set to roll all the drivers off. Everyone has gridded. Boydo getting excited. He wants to get going ASAP. One pace lap for the drivers before we go green. Look at this virtual crowd that showed up in the stands and on the infield. Sold out. Just shows you how big the Coast to Coast Racing League is. All right, ready for the green. Winner starts inside row number 2. Good jump from Boydell. Slides up in front of Flero and Lawson easily. Flero looks on the short way around the track for the runner-up spot. Lawson fights back on that preferred high side. Barker in the 4th position. First one out, Reynolds in 5th. Lap 1 led by Boydell, but a 3-car smorgasbord for the lead. Boydell cuts off Flero, but decided not to run the cushion. Lawson's got the advantage. He's so good at running the top side with these modifieds at dirt tracks. Barker's got company up the racetrack as well. Here comes DeGood and Reynolds. They nearly touch. Actually, I think Reynolds and DeGood just barely traded some paint at the line. Look at this mess for the Young Gun Creations drone. Everyone in some wild battles here at the moment. Great start to the evening. So Boydell, Fleur, and Lawson all decide to be patient. Everyone running the bottom here. We just saw a couple moments ago, a lot of drivers decide to run the top of the track and then just get defensive by running the bottom, but everyone thinks the bottom's the place to be. Dean Reynolds, though, in 6th position, told me earlier this week that this is his track when it comes to modifieds. He's got to figure it out, in his opinion, better than anyone else. He loves this track. A lot of people don't really like this track when it comes to racing a modified at Williams Grove Speedway. Barker's closed in on the top 3. He's got some speed, but trouble. DeGood is sideways. In turn 3, he is out of it. 1 lap to go. And so we've got your top 4 pretty much settled. Boydell, Flero, Lawson, and Barker. Just a smooth trip into 3 and 4 for the Canadian in the Oshweekend Speedway ride. And checkers are out. Boydell takes the win. Flero 2nd, Lawson 3rd, and Barker 4th. And so I believe that will do it for heat racing. Megan's watching, along with Buddy too, rooting for Dean. All right, so 3 heats are done. I believe this will take us right to the B-main. We're just waiting. Don't believe D good finish. And yes, it is taking us right to the warm-up, the Ohsweken Speedway warm-up. And we will step aside while the drivers warm up. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Wrapping up warm-ups currently at the moment here at the Ohsweken Speedway. Jeff Flero currently the quickest in the number 200, 21.277. And we are just about ready to go for the first feature of the evening here. 25 laps for the 358s at Williams Grove Speedway. Let's meet the field in the Super Durcar Series starting lineup. On the front row, it's Cody Graham in the number 08 and Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row 2, G.J. Boydell with the 014 and Superman Kurt Schafter in the 218. Row 3, it's Butch Baker in the 97 and Jeff Flero in the 200. Row 4, Jeff Sharp in the 28 and Randy Shreves in the 56. Round out the top 10, Brian Lawson and the mayor, Steve Bixler. Row number 6, Logan Wentz in the 118, and the Bruin Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 7, the 313 of David Tormachi and the 93, Jason Butterfield. Row 8, the Moss Elves, Jacob and Joe in the 61 and 63. Row 9, Craig Levin in the 610, and Dean Reynolds in the 79. Rounding out your top 20, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the number 39, and John Krupa in the 98. Row 11, Andrew Smith in the 79, Bobby Gill in the 7. Round out your field this evening, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Time for predictions on who you think is going to win this race. I'm going to go with Brandon Templeton to get the job done. 30-lap feature for the 358s. 23 drivers will take the green in the small blocks. Get a nice view from the Young Gun Creations drone. New sponsor of the Coast to Coast Racing League, officially on a seasonal basis. Want to thank Aiden Young and his team for hopping on board. Aiden Young and Bob DeGood and company, I should say, too. 1 lap to go. There you see how the track looks at the moment. Completely slick on the bottom. Would not be surprised if throughout this race all the drivers decide to run the middle groove of this racetrack. And not the bottom with how slick it is. They definitely slickened it up during warm-ups. Well, we're set for the green flag. It's time for the Lucy Olsen start. So glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's week number 2. Cody Graham, Brandon Templeton will bring us to the green flag. The first feature about to go down at Williams Grove Speedway. Four wide off of turn number 2. Slight advantage to G.J. Boydell at the moment. Some more contact. Baker hanging on for dear life. Oh, we got a big wreck. A Waffle House is broken out in turn 3. They're scattered, smothered, and covered. Lawson up on his side. The big one is broken out already. Leaving Butterfield. Leave both the Mossells involved. Or the Mossos. Wild one. Let's show you how this all got stacked up. Watch Lawson up front. Baker had some contact. And then he got sent in there by Smith, I believe, in the 79. Look all the drivers that just barrel rolled in there. Let's watch another angle. Watch this from the back. Or actually, oh, that may have been Steve Bixler that sent his way into the 9. And I think they were all trying to take evasion of action of when Baker got loose. Look at that pile up. Oh my. Right with Craig Levin. He was in the back of the field. Just mind his own business. And watch it. All committed. The track is just blocked. Haven't seen anything like that in a while. So lights should go off this time, but they do. Now the question is, will Lawson get out in time? Because remember, being on his side, he had to use a toe to get back going. So this is a single file restart. Everyone stays put in their starting position unless you were involved in that wreck and your wheels came to a halt. And it's a single file restart. Cody Graham leads, Brandon Templeton second, G.J. Boydell third, Kurt Schatzer fourth, Butch Baker in the 5th spot. The first Salty Dogs caution is in the books. Here's the first Mission 22 restart of the day. Graham holds serve for right now. Not a lot of yaw for a bunch of drivers. Look out! Randy Shreves is around. And who was that just threaded the needle? That was Mosso in the 63. So Shreves and Wentz get together and we're back under caution. The second Salty Dogs yellow of the day. And here is a look at what happened. Did Wentz just send it in too deep? Oh, he sent it into sharp. And he had to get on the binders. Look at that, the 63 with a close call. Reynolds is also involved, and same with Grandy. Rambo with Logan. Oh, we'll get out of that. Apologies for showing that. This is Dean Reynolds is on board. Let's show you the 63 too. So we've got some time. Watch Masso miss this, barely. Wow! Now that's risking the biscuit there for sure. So we'll try this once again. No green flag laps are completed here at the moment, so of course a very tough racetrack, not a normal racetrack like you see on dirt circuits. Long straights and kind of tight corners here despite them being really wide. So drivers just have to use their heads here at the moment. This is a long race, 30 laps, and we've completed 2. Here we go, back to green. Graham holds serve for the moment. Templeton stays right behind the bumper. Boydell in 3rd spot, and here we go for the lead. Templeton and Graham, door to door, entering turn number 3. Templeton's got the preferred line. Can he clear? And the answer is yes. Templeton takes the number 31 to the point. Now we just see if Graham can fight back, but a lot of yaw in 102. But up the racetrack, that should be a lot of time lost. That last lap for Templeton, he was a half second better. Caution, and it's Tormashi is on his lid. This looks like a situation where he may have ramped the wall. Contact off the 93, and he did. It was just on from there. Up and over goes the 313. Man, one of the Masso drivers as well just about missed it too. So we were able to complete a green flag lap, and that gives Templeton the race lead. Should take us back to double file restarts, but with the way the racing is going, I do not know. It is, though, at race control's discretion. No penalties were given this week in the 358 race, so no one had a heat or feature EOL. However, though, would not be surprised if we had a couple of EOLs for next week's race. So it's round number 2 of an 11-race season for the series. Now, Monday Night Madness is getting 12 races this season. The reason why is our charity week is taking place from Tuesday through Thursday. Stay tuned for more details on that when it comes out. Good season around the corner. Next week, a tight one at I-55 Speedway. Then we go to Knoxville, and Kokomo, and Lima Land for the next few races. So third Salty Dogs caution in the books. Time for the Mission 22 restart. Templeton, Graham, Boydell, Schatzer, and Sharp the top 5. Biggest mover on the racetrack at the moment is Bob DeGood from last to 11th, and we've only completed 11 laps, and that's not going to end well once again. Randy Shreves and Joe Masso get into it. So we'll try it once again. Man, Salty Dogs are getting their money's worth today with another yellow. And from what I'm hearing as well, Isaac is actually on the track. I'm not kidding. Let's look at what happened. He's got into the back of Barker. You see Spangler. Dean just barely missed it. Shreves, and you saw Salas, the Super Dirt Car Series 5, just barely get a piece of it. It's right on board the high side banger. Dean would kill me if I didn't ride along with him, so here you go. Oh, we went too late. Let's go for the green. Dean, by the way, will be joining us in the booth in just a bit. So, we were talking about your biggest mover in the race. It's currently Bob DeGood. He had started in last. He's in 10th. We've only completed 5 laps. So he's having one heck of a charge throughout this field as we speak. Got a couple of other drivers that are up at least 10 positions. We'll get them here for you once everything gets reset. Patrick Spangler started 19th. He's in 9th. Isaac Salas and Joseph Grandy started 22nd and 23rd respectively. They are 12th and 13th. Dean Reynolds started in the 18th spot. He's running in 11th. Mission 22 restart. Please complete a green flag lap. Hold Sir for right now at the moment. Shatzer tests out the line. That has got all the chocolate chips next to it. Oh, look out! Really? He ramped over the tire of G.J. Boydell. That nearly led to a close call. But I think Shatzer should get third at the line. No, better drive on the exit for the Canadian. Fun one here at the moment. On board with Cody Graham. See again, Shatzer rides the cushion. Up the track goes Cody Graham, way wide. Shatzer could get stuck in the middle. Just about lets off on corner exit, but he secures third spot at the start-finish line. Brandon Templeton starts to pull away. 1.5 second lead over the runner-up driver. Jeff Claro wants to become a factor in this, but he's battling Jeff Sharp for the 5th spot. Shatzer still hanging on for right now. Let's go on board with the 218 as he tries that high side out once again. Better exit compared to Cody Graham, and they're side by side entering the corner. Whoa, look out, Boydell again. Another wheelie, this time from him. He touched tires with Flaro, and now he tries to shut the door on Jeff Sharp, and that cost him about 2 spots. Flaro and Spangler use it to advantage, just about 4 wide in turn 2. This is getting dicey. It may not end right. Sharp sideways, but he saves it. Baker a part of this too. Bob DeGood has crashed. No caution. Wait, there it is. Whew. That was about to get ugly, and just the yellow the drivers needed. So there you see DeGood sideways in turn number 4. Didn't know if we were going to see a yellow flag come out because of it. It was in the middle of the pack. I believe this was a race for 13th. Ooh, Salas was the first one to get sideways. And DeGood had nowhere to go. Let's see here. I can show you Salas. There's Salas, the 5 car ahead. I made some contact with the car ahead. I couldn't tell who that was. This should give us a good idea here from the Young Gun Creations drone. That was Joseph Grandy. It just about cuts off, then comes right back in there. Just hit the quarter panel and just freaked out Salas's car. So we continue back up to the front. Brandon Templeton has led the most laps. He's had the best car. Didn't start from pole, keep in mind, because he was drawn for heat race number 2, but was able to find a way past Cody Graham. Give credit to Graham as well in the 3rd spot at the moment. Here's the Mission 22 restart once again. Hold serve for right now. Sharp up the racetrack. Schatzer also goes up to see if he's got some groove up in the cushion. He's, oh, look out, Boydell! Up on his side! Can he save it? No, Baker is a part of it too. Yellow is out. I thought for a moment he was going to have the wildest save we've ever seen on iRacing. Unfortunately, he cannot. Here's the look. He just came up on Sharp. I don't even know if he. I don't think he knew that he was there. You see, Baker's a part of Netco there too. That, ladies and gentlemen, was wild. This is on board. You see, they're just slightly made contact, and now I wonder about the damage Jeff Sharp has, and he's got some good right front or some good front end damage. We'll show you on that too, or yeah, both Sharp and Butch Baker. Pop up Butch here. Once we get a good angle, we'll be able to show it to you. Get it closed up. There's Baker. He looks good. What about Sharp? Ooh, yeah, that's some good right side damage on the 28. Would not be surprised if he has to put it in for a quick repair. Still a Templeton lead at the moment. Schatzer runs 2nd, Graham 3rd, Sharp 4th, Flero 5th, Patrick Spangler your biggest mover from 19th to 6th. Spangler wants to run that high side. Schatzer's been pretty good up high, and Templeton knows, so he'll shut the door in his face. We'll force him to try and make a run on the middle or low groove on this racetrack. Wild race for 3rd, Graham, Sharp, and Flero. Sharp, despite the right side damage, challenges up on the top shelf. Spangler wants to become a factor in this race too. Spangler just about bounced off the wall for a second. Flero gets some bite in 3 and 4. Doesn't work barely. Tries to go 2 for 1, and it's 3 wide for 3rd. DeGutt has crashed again, and the caution is out. Same spot that he spun out in earlier. Now, who's got 3rd secured in the line? I believe it was Sharp. Here's a look at what happened to DeGutt. Ooh, Boydell just got him. He was setting up his corner, and Boydell got him, and also the 313 rather, of Tomashi. And so we will try again. But yes, once again, the Salty Dogs definitely getting their money's worth this evening. Big week coming up here. Not this weekend, but next week coming up here for dirt modified racing as a whole. The Super Dirt Car Series begins their points season officially at the Atomic Speedway next weekend. Learn more at superdirtcarseries.com. You can also watch on Dirt Vision. Mission 22 restart coming up. Cross flags go up this time by from Barney. Templeton brings us back to the green. Schatzer got a nice restart out of that deal compared to last time out, in my opinion. Keeps that gap half a car length. And Sharp starts to blink just a bit. Ooh, this is a beautiful corner from Templeton on corner exit. Watch this gap he's going to open up on Schatzer. But Schatzer actually keeps it better, maintains it better than I thought it was going to be. You just don't want to get in those chocolate chips too much. Picks up some pretty bad steering. This time Schatzer goes shorter way around the racetrack. Flaro's been trying that pretty well, but better than Schatzer. There you see it, the race for third once again. Ooh, some slight neck code entering turn one. Flaro has to get on the binders. Patrick Spangler with an opportunity. He's in sixth. And look who else is making his way up. Dean Reynolds is running seventh. Has to let off or else he would have gotten pinched up in the wall by Spangler. This could get crazy for third at the end of this one. Oh no! Salas and Reynolds involved and the caution is out. And Dean's got a lot of front end damage. Take a look. Isaac was right behind Dean and was making his way through the field. Ooh, just slight contact with him and Spangler. And it was on from there. And look at that. That's heavy damage for Dino. Will not have a good car with that. That's a lot of damage. Dino, I should say. Would not be surprised if he takes it in for repair. These Venom cars have gotten beat up pretty good tonight. Oh, Levin got collected in the process too. Oh man. And Salas had to take a tow too. That's a shame. Dean is staying on the racetrack. I don't know if he knows what his damage is like. This race, meanwhile, for Brandon Templeton at the moment, has probably felt like a 500-mile race with all the yellows we've seen. Would just love to open up a gap on Kurt Schatzer, but unable to do so. And Schatzer's been, in my opinion, the best competitor to Templeton in this one. But the only way Schatzer can take the lead from Templeton is that he forces Templeton into making a mistake, if you know what I mean. Like, don't make contact. Just try and make him make a mistake with how close he is. Like, look at the rearview mirror and freak out. Templeton leads, Schatzer second, Sharp third, Flaro fourth, Cody Graham fifth, Dean Reynolds sixth, Spangler seventh, Grandy eighth, Baker ninth, and Barker rounds out the top 10. 11 laps to go. We get back to the Mission 22 restart. Here we go. Ooh, Templeton up in the chocolate chip. Schatzer runs a lower line. Flaro back up top. The race is on again for third. Flaro, he believes that he's got a better race car than Sharp. So many times he's tried to pass him no matter what groove. He just falls barely short, but he's got the preferred line of the exit though. Sharp still with third, nearly clears Flaro. The Jeff and Jeff's show for the bottom step of the podium. On board with Dean. idea on what that race looks like from behind. They're right in the middle of the groove while your top two up on the top shelf with 9 laps to go. See, that's Joseph Grandy, who has been in so many wrecks today. He's recovered to go up to 7th spot, start in 23rd. Currently your biggest mover of this race. Reynolds and Spangler go high. Dino's so good up on the cushion with these modifieds. Could have a chance. Wants to fake low, which he does. Back up to the top goes Dino. Spangler goes with him. Could be 3 wide off of turn 4 if Grandy's a part of it. Reynolds may set up high and go low. Why would Spangler and Grandy door to door? That's the teammates for 6 with 7 to go. Caution is out again. Logan Wetz right in front of the 98 of John Krupa. This should get chaotic here with not that much time left in this one. Show you what happened. I think was there some contact between him and Butterfield and Smith? Yeah, there was. Wild 360. Gotta give credit for Butterfield for making a nice save. Onboard once. So we'll have about 6 laps to go and we go back to the green flag. And 1 lap to green. So Templeton brings us back to the green flag. 6 laps of racing to go. Schatzer takes a look underneath, but is that going to work out well? Try to get the line, but Templeton starts to pull away of just a bit. Reynolds, Flero, Grandy, Spangler. Flero still looks on sharp for the 3rd spot. Oh, man! Just about slammed the door right in his face. Just about pulled a robbery on him. Did he clear him again? No, he gives Sharp the room just barely. This is wild for the bottom step. So we're coming to 4 to go this time. Flero's got that bite once again off of 4, and Sharp's got it back. And now Grandy's moved up into the 5th spot after starting from 23rd. Yeah, he wants more. Does he try the crisscross out? He does! Look at that mid setup from Grandy. Race for 4th is on. 3 laps to go. That was a sweet setup from Grandy. Can he get it to stick off of turn 2? He can't just yet. He clears though. Now decides to dime in the corner. Well, he lets off and makes some slight contact. Stacks everyone on back up. Spangler catches some air. 2 laps to go for Templeton meanwhile. This could get wild down to the checkered flag. Grandy with a run again off of turn 2. Flairell's not going to give this up easily, that's for sure. Flairell tries the slider line. Growney tries to counter back. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Still focused on that race for 4. Deadlock to the line. Flairell with the advantage. Oh, Flairell sideways. I think Grandy may have squeezed him up in the wall. As Grandy takes away the 4th spot, 3 wide behind them. Coming off of turn number 4, Brandon Templeton. Win one of the season with the small block mods. Checkers around, he takes it at Williams Grove. Coming to the end for the 5th spot, the trouble from the further back. Cody Graham up in the wall to finish 11th. No change amongst the top 3, but it's Grandy, Flairell, Reynolds, Spangler, Baker, Lawson, and how about Grandy? Put him up with the top 3. I don't care. He's up 19 spots from 23rd to 4th. Well done from him. Top 3 will pose for a photo. One coming in to give their good race. Now we'll get your top 3 all in here momentarily. I think it's burnout time, perhaps. It is for Brandon. So your top 3 are all in here. And let's begin with Jeff Sharp. Jeff Sharp, a good run for you, man. Wild race with Flairell there in the final laps. How were you able to take away that bottom step of the podium from him?
That was a tough race there with him. The top groove was just a little stronger. He just couldn't keep it going down on the bottom. So I just stayed up there and protected.
Did it look like, though, from his perspective, that Jeff had a good car early on the bottom? Because he seemed like he was getting some good bite off the corner.
Yeah, the bottom kind of went away and came back a little bit at the end, but the top was just too strong.
Overall, though, that race for 3rd on back, how fun was it?
Yeah, that was a fun race. It was good to finish a race.
That is true, man. That is. Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
Just you and everybody putting this on and my family for letting me do it.
All right, man. We'll let
you. Good run, my friend.
Thanks, Dean.
All right, Jeff. We'll let you go. Great run tonight.
Thank you.
Let's go to our 2nd place finisher in Kurt Schatzer. Kurt, nice run for you, though, tonight, but what more did you really need for Templeton at the end?
Oh, man, Marty, I tell you the truth, I probably didn't have nothing for Templeton. He's one of the class of the fields when it comes to modifieds. I think he's up there with Isaac, no doubt.
You were making some moves up on the outside early and midway through the race. Did you think you had a chance possibly on Templeton when we got packed back up for a restart, or not really?
Nah, he don't make a whole lot of mistakes when in these cars here. I was just fortunate early. I think I found the top a little bit before Boydell and I forget whoever else there I was racing. It allowed me to get around them. And then I seen Templeton was out front, and like I said, I know he's good in these, so I was pretty content with just riding along and finding him and following behind him. He really kind of knows the tracks and knows when to change lines and knows where to be to make these cars go fast.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I got to thank the sponsors there, Jay, Dirt Track Bank, everything he does for dirt track racing. Got Your Six Racing Network, the team Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton, Brian Dickens, Joe Halter, Roger Craig, and Preston for putting on the league, and you, Marty, for doing an awesome job with the broadcast, and everybody that comes out and races with us.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
That's Kurt Schatzer, Superman, our 2nd place finisher. Now it's time to go to Extreme E-Speed Victory Lane to talk with your winner and Brandon Templeton. Brandon, a good one for you there early on, but it seemed like with all those cautions, it felt like a 500-mile race there.
Yeah, you got that right, Marty. It was kind of a long one, but worth the wait, I guess. You know, stuck it to the bottom when it had to stick to the bottom, and then when it got just a little bit one lane there, I found the top, so did what I had to do and brought it home, and brought it home for the team. And Kurt being right behind me, that was good for Hammer Down Racing to be 1-2, so fun night.
Yeah, Schatzer was just talking about a couple moments ago. It seemed like you like he had a chance early in the race, but you're just a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes often. You're just calm, cool, and collected and know how to hit the high notes at Williams Grove.
Yeah, I think I won here last year too. I just have had a lot of laps and hit my marks here a lot. So I guess experience brings consistency and kind of makes it a little easier on you. You don't have to think about everything.
Are you expecting for the same thing for the big blocks in just a bit?
I don't know what to expect in those. I'll just hop in and see what the random pill draw gives me and go from there.
Alrighty. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I definitely got to thank Jay Burdick with Dirt Track Bank there in Malvern Bank. Check out dirttrackbank.com. Everything they're doing to support the team and the league is awesome. Got your Six Racing Network and Joe, Hammer Down Racing, Kurt, Brian, and Joe. Awesome team. Help each other a lot. Maley's Makery, Extreme Images, Big C's Lawn Care. You for doing the broadcast, Marty, and everyone behind the scenes at Coast to Coast, and everyone watching at home. Thank you.
All right, man, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best of luck in the next one.
Thanks.
Brandon Templeton takes the win. He's in Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. And let's pop up the results here for you on the screen. Brandon Templeton, the winner. Kurt Schatzer, second. Jeff Sharp, third. Joseph Grandy, fourth. Jeff Flero, fifth. Dean Reynolds, sixth. Seventh, Patrick Spangler. Eighth, Butch Baker. Ninth, Brian Lawson. And 10th, Jeff Barker. 21st, David Tomashi. 22nd, Logan Wentz. 23rd, Craig Levin. 24th, Isaac Salas. We will step aside and take a break. The Beast of the Northeast about to take shape. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks, 4 wide. The crowd-pounding, earth-shaking, window-rattling beast of the Northeast. It's the Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Olsen, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are just about set to go for Big Blocks. Big Blocks are brought to you by the Super Dirt Car Series. Marty Sakala alongside the main man of Super Dirt Car Series competition, Dean Reynolds. Dean, Big Blocks in Williams Grove, they've done it in real life in the past. Win for a treat this time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We think of Williams Grove as a sprint car track, but we throw the modifieds out on there, and that actually is a really good track for the big blocks. There's going to be a couple of grooves out there. Hopefully everyone minds their P's and Q's going into turn one on the initial starts, but I think we're going to be in for a real treat.
Absolutely, I think so too. So we should be a couple moments away from beginning our heats. For this one,
if we just advanced.
Awesome. Yeah, if you missed us last week, Joseph Grandy taking home the win in the modifieds for the big blocks. And a fun one indeed. Car count set at 23 this evening for the Beast of the Northeast.
My draw's the same exact 6 to 30.
And so we're set to go racing. Let's meet your starting lineup for our first heat race. Heat race number 1, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Brian Lawson and Cody Graham on row number 1. Row 2 is Joseph Grandy and Randy Shreves. Row 3, Butch Baker and Craig Levin. And row 4, Bob DeGood and the high side banger, Patrick Spangler.
Boy, this has got some serious talent in this heat.
Absolutely. This is a stacked
This
heat.
is stacked.
You got
Jeez.
Lawson, you got Cody, you got Joseph and Randy, Butchie and Spangler.
Yeah, a lot of people don't remember Cody Graham. Cody Graham actually used to run at Oswego, and then he ran big block modifieds for a little bit. And he actually got out of iRacing for about a year or so, and now he's getting back into it. And Cody Graham's going to be a force at Coast to Coast. He's been messaging me, and he says, I got to get rid of the cobwebs, but he's going to be doing a good job when he does.
Absolutely. So now I got to ask you this, because since you just mentioned Oswego. You were there at the Syracuse Motorsports Expo. Did you run the iRacing sim?
Yes, we did.
How'd you do?
Terrible.
Did you get Shepard to run in it?
No, we didn't. Shepard wasn't even there, actually. It was,
he wasn't.
It was his girlfriend's birthday.
Okay. Had to go celebrate with Jordan. I understand. Heat 1 is underway. Lawson and Graham side by side off of turn 2. Lawson's got the early advantage and clears the 08. Graham and Grandy working their way off turn number 4. Graham just barely gets a twirly bit loose. Lawson leads lap 1. Race for 4th is on. Dean, Shreves, and Baker.
Yeah, and it looks like there's already 2 grooves with the power of the big blocks here versus the 358s, where you need track to wear out with the 358s, but the big blocks, you got some choices. But Brian Lawson, he is a big block guy, so if he holds on to win, he's going to be a force. Hang on in the back.
Levin, Spangler, and Shreve stacks a big gap up from 4th to 5th. 0.8 of a second separate Butchie and Spangler. Grandy, though, starts to get a run on Lawson for the race lead. They slightly touch entering turn 3.
Yeah, and as we saw in the 358s, Grandy got that bottom to work really well. And there's probably a lot of attack down there being early on, so let's see how we can make it coming out of 2 right here. Here he goes.
Nice fight off the corner on the 518. Just about touching entering turn 3. Right on board in that battle for the lead. Can Grandy clear at the line? Yes, he can. I think Lawson just barely caught the wall with 2 laps to go. Spangler starts to close in just a bit on Baker. Lawson still trying to fight back, Dino.
Yeah, and it won't be bad if Lawson finishes second because you'll get to start 4th in the feature. And by that time, the outside will be really good.
White flag is out for Joseph Grandy, just coming off the Hard Charger Award. Brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies.
Oh, bummer, I thought I got it.
This time, you were close. This time, he'll start from pole position through 3 and 4. Grandy, Lawson, Graham, and Baker. Your top 4. One driver away sideways. That's Randy Shreves, who comes across the line in 6th. Baker, the final driver, in 4th. Again, every driver makes it in a 23 car count this evening. Heat race number 2 brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Here's the lineup. Kurt Schatzer and Jeff Flarrow, row number 1. The mayor, Steve Bixler and Isaac Salas, row number 2. Joe Masso and John Krupa, row number 3. And the professor, John Hine, Jason Butterfield, row number 4. Dean, I understand you have an interesting story to talk about with Isaac Salas, because he told us originally that he was not going to make it. Yes.
So what they did is they logged him in, so he got into the server, which would grid him. That's why we had to wait for the first heat, because he was missing in the first heat. And then he got home just as we were getting ready to grid for the feature. He missed the start, so when he turned the computer on and said he missed the start, he went to go grab a beer, and he said, I grabbed a beer. By the way, guys, I'm racing in my underwear. So he just tore off his clothes, grabbed the beer, and then as we came down, we took the green. He came out of the pits, and because we never completed a lap before the yellow came out, he stayed on the lead lap.
Luckily, virtually, he's in a fire suit.
And unfortunately, he got into me and ended his race there. I mean, it was a racing deal there where I got caught up in stuff, but yeah, whole story about iRacing. I wonder how many else do that.
Pulled a Matt DiBenedetto there. All right, here we go. Heat 2 is green. Stack up from row 2 on back. Schatzer leads early. Oh, hang on. Bixler and Salas collide, or Salas, and it leads to no yacht from the 5 ride, and he's back in 5th. He just bounced off the wall again. Hyde throws a slider right in his face. He counters back. It's 3 wide for 5th, and he gets turned off of Butterfield.
Oh, and they're in the same Discord. Uh-oh.
Man, what a rough night for Salsa. Been a tough break, and Masso now up in the wall. Hine takes advantage of it. He's into 4th, but yeah, Dean, rough night for Isaac continues.
Yeah, but we all know Isaac, though. You give him 30 laps on this big half mile, he could still come right through and top 5, and I won't even count him out from winning.
How about Bixler? Side by side with Schatzer for the lead. I don't think anyone had this on their bingo card this evening. You got Flero up in there looking to go 2 for 1. Threads the needle. It's 3 wide for the lead. The beasts of the Northeast not disappointed here, Dean.
No, this is fun, and Johnny Hines he's got the best seat in the house.
What a save from Superman. Hyde counters back for third. Schatzer goes flipping. Ah, man, that began so well and just ended terribly there for Schatzer. But it's Bixler and Flero that now go at it for the Heat win and the second place starting spot.
I wonder if Blake Chapman's been giving Steven some pointers because he looks good.
Possibly two. Who knows? 1 lap to go, though. Bixler's got to hold off Isaac here. Or rather, Jeff's here. Sorry.
You okay, Marty?
I haven't done this in weeks. Thursday nights, to be specific. Here goes Flero. He's got to run off turn number 4. Checkers around. Bad corner from Bixler. Oh, my goodness. They touch the line. Bixler hangs on. Oh, my. 0.05 of a second.
Oh, God.
That's how bad do you want it? That's how bad the mayor wanted it. Almost thought for a moment Hyde was going to steal it. We would have had the heist of the century. Heat 3 brought to you by Venom Racing. Jacob Masso, Jeff Barker, row number 1. Stephen Goldner in for the first time this evening next to Jeff Sharp. That's row number 2. Logan Wentz and Dean Reynolds, row number 3. And Brandon Templeton starts from 7th spot. No Goldner or Wentz on the call to grid here.
Oh, really?
So we will have just 5 drivers.
I'm guaranteed to finish higher than I started.
That is true, you are. So technically you're currently up a spot.
Yes, got hard charger going right now.
Actually, that's Brandon
Templeton
right
does.
now. Yeah, Brandon's up 4 spots.
Yep.
Winner starts inside row number 2.
Well, that's a late green. Holy cow.
Yeah. They're closer to the pace, to the Steve King Foundation pace car than everyone else thought. Masso with the lead early. Barker opens the door from Templeton up 5 spots. He wants to go for the dirt sweep. Masso leads lap number 1, but Templeton, remember he started 7th, took advantage of Goldner and Wentz not showing up. And Templeton's got to run off turn number 2. He's right on board with the 31. Barker tries to be a factor in this one too. Templeton takes the lead. Remember he started from 2nd
in
the feature. Yeah, Reynolds and Sharp. Chapter number 2 after the fun race of the end in the 358s. Look at Barker, starts to close in on Masso.
Oh, hang on, it's in the wall.
Ooh, Masso. Bad corner. Barker with a huge run. And clears Masso for 2nd. Nice run for the Brewerton Beast. Dean starts to close in on Masso here. 2 laps to go in Heat 3. Templeton with just about a 1-second advantage on Barker here. Here's a look from the Young Gun Creations drone. Your middle 3 start to pull away from Sharp. Reynolds looks for a run off the corner. 1 lap to go. Good corner by both the 61 and the 79.
Now let's sail it up top and see what we got. Oh, hang on, Dino.
Reynolds
I almost got Jeff Sharp getting the spot back.
Absolutely. Templeton with the win.
That didn't work.
Yeah, Dean, you had a close call there. You can't chance Dana here, unfortunately.
I love running the top of Williams Grove, but boy, I hope that comes in later.
Weekend Speedway warm-up watch, but we're not going to go to break this time. Let's talk with Dean about what's coming up next week, because you won't be here Thursday, I'm assuming.
No, because we're going to leave about 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon to go on down to kill some of the trip, because Atomic is about 8 hours and 15 minutes from Syracuse.
Absolutely.
So,
yep,
but not too far, but not too close. A little bit of a medium trip for us, but we're looking forward to Super Dirt Car Series Rumble in the Hills.
Absolutely. First time ever the big blocks take Atomic Speedway. What have drivers told you about preparing for Atomic? Because no one's ever seen it before.
Well, and that's what's unique. That's why a lot of guys are making the trip, because it doesn't matter if you're Matt Shepard, Peter Britton, Alex Payne, or anybody, because no one's been there. So that's the unique part about that. So it's kind of leveled the playing field out a little bit there with that. And it's going to be exciting because they all watched Atomic on Dirt Vision with the Outlaws last year with the late models and the sprints. And the one thing they notice is that's a track that has a lot of grooves. There's a lot of choices there.
How many drivers do you have signed on full-time this season? Because I'm seeing the stuff coming in on Twitter.
Yep. Yeah, right now we have 17, and there's a couple others that are thinking about it. They might go out on the weekend and see how they do, which they can. There's a couple guys that I said, why don't we get your feet wet, do it like a half a year, half a tour, but if you wind up coming out of Atomic like 10th in points or something like that, then we'll sit down and talk. But right now we do have 17 signed.
Awesome. Good to hear, that's for sure. Can't wait to begin the season. I'll be watching this weekend on Dirt Vision. And yeah, absolutely should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to seeing how, and you mentioned Alex Payne, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does it, especially after the way he ran, not just in the World Finals last November, but also one of the Florida races. He finished third.
Yes.
To Shepard and Friesen, and I love the podium photo.
Yeah, and me and Alex, we joke around because we actually race sometimes in a league on a Wednesday nights on iRacing. So I said, man, you're doing good in that modified, but I want to kick your ass in iRacing. But he's a good young talent.
Oh, he is.
They're thinking about doing the tour, but I think they're going to. They're going to do like 10 or 12 shows this year, build up the inventory. Plus, they lost the motor down in Florida, so that hurt. And but Alex is one of those future stars that we really would like to see on the tour. If it's not this year, definitely next year.
Oh, he is. I definitely agree with you on that 100%. But yeah, should be a fun one. Atomic Speedway, Super Dirt Car Series point season begins here. Nice dump on Flaro too. Yeah, highlighted by a couple of things as well. You got Super Dirt Week 51 early October, the World Finals November, and also a couple of races in Canada, which we're looking forward to.
Yes, and then we got a second annual Summerfest.
Absolutely.
In Central New York.
Which we're looking forward to there. Let's meet the field in the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row, it's Joseph Grandy in the 518 and the mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Row 2, Brandon Templeton in the 31 and Brian Lawson in the 9. Row 3, the Jeffs, Jeff Blairell in the 200 and Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 4, Cody Graham in the 08 and the Professor, John Hine in the 71. Row 5, Jacob Masso in the 61 and Butch Baker in the 97. Row number 6, Joe Masso in the 63. And Dean Reynolds in the 790. Second half of the grid, row number 7, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler and John Krupa in the 98. Row 8, Jeff Sharp with the 28, Randy Treat in the 56. Row number 9, Jason Butterfield in the 93 and Stephen Goldner in the 30. Row 10 is Bobby Good in the number 7, Kurt Schachter in the 218. Row 11, Logan Wentz in the number 118, thank you. Greg Levin in the 610, rounding out the field, Isaac Salas in the 5.
Jonathan Krupa asked for a volunteer EOL.
Gotcha.
So that's why he went to the back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point harness. Grandpa, we're back at the Williams Grove Speedway, and it's time to get it on. I know you miss Shane Andrews. It's showtime with the big blocks.
Grandpa could take that Viagra pill too if he wants.
No. No. Oh, look out. Lawson sideways down the back. Everyone scatters. Makes a great save. He's back in the 6th spot. A lot of
I was more on the brake and I was on the gas in that corner.
A lot of contact mid-pack, but it's Joseph Grandi that leads the opening circle.
Oh, hang on. More
There
contact.
oh my. Baker, the Massos, and leaving.
I got 2X thanks to my buddy Isaac. It looked like Masso might have got a little sideways and Butchie had nowhere to go. I don't know if I'm right, but we'll take a look on the replay there.
Ooh, Masso. Jacob Masso just clipped John Hine, which just led to him getting sideways.
Okay. Yeah.
And the one that pays the price the most out of all of them is Craig Levin, right on board the 610. Just a stack up. That's Baker was the one that went on his noggin.
Yeah, and luckily I saw that happen in front of Butchie, so it gave me time to slow down a little bit and turn right. I had a good look at it if you want to do the in-car again.
I did yours of the, I think, that one Dodge up top.
Did you get the one where I flipped and stuck the landing and kept going and they didn't make me lose my spot?
I don't know if I got that. There was one I got of one of the Massos that just threaded the needle. 2 cars that were stopped up top, and he found a groove. I think that was Joe. I can't remember, though.
No, that was definitely an interesting 358. I had an 8X without touching anyone. I flipped. Me and Spangler got together, had no front end, had no steering, and we took 6th. Don't ask me how.
Should give us a double file restart coming up, if I recall correctly.
It is not. So they must have felt the whole field didn't get through on that first lap, I guess.
We completed 2 laps.
Yeah, but it always counts the start as 1, as you know. So, and you still got to come all the way around, but maybe the whole field wasn't through.
We're working lap number 3.
Yeah.
So we did complete 2 laps.
So
it's Grandi that leads, Templeton 2nd, Bixler 3rd, Flero 4th, Barker 5th, Lawson 6th, Graham 7th, Hine 8th, Reynolds 9th, and Spangler 10th. How about Schatzer already? Up 7 spots, he's in the 13th spot. Back to green. So Grandi holds serve. Nope, caution. D good. Nope, never mind, no caution. We stay green. Saw a couple of guys crash on my end, but they saved it. Flero underneath on Bixler. That is the race for P3. This was the battle back in the heat race where they were trading. Oh, look out! Barker just cut through the lawn. Is he going to get this one back going, or is he going to tow? He's going to keep this going. He just found a loophole.
is that the pass in the grass?
Unfortunately, getting passed in the grass many times.
Yeah.
Flero takes the 3rd spot away from Bixler. Meanwhile, Grandi with a 1-second advantage on Templeton. That's starting to weigh down just a bit. 5 in the books this time. Best race on track right here. John Hine against Dean Reynolds for the 7th spot, but in front of them, Lawson tries underneath Bixler. Let's get on the Viners for 2nd.
Whoa, John.
Hines trying to get past Cody Graham here as the professor decides to go up to the cushion. He may get a good drive on the exit of turn 4, which he does. They're door panel to door panel, and it's Hines just barely with the advantage. Spangler washes up the track. In front, Lawson and Bixler now side by side. Lawson loosey-goosey just tries to set up turn 3, but goes up the racetrack. 3 wide behind them. Oh, hang on, Brian.
Oh, hang on, lost him.
Just lost it on corner entry. And Hein would know where to go, gets a
How the
piece
heck
of
did
it.
Hein save that?
Yep, Hein can thank Lawson. Lawson can thank Hein, I should say, for saving it. Oh, maybe not here. Spangler is around and upside down. Flipping side over side, back on all fours. Yellow is out, another one involved. That's the 63 of Masso. Saw that live. Let's show you again. Racing with Shreves for the 9th spot. Oh, Salas just got into him barely. Just close quarters racing at its finest. You see
Isaac
Shatzer
passed a lot of cars, though. Holy cow, look where he is.
also involved in that, too. It's right on board with the high side banger. There it was, just briefly the contact with Salas. And that 39 Training Wheels Racing Mobile is on for the ride. Luckily, Spangler, with a quick repair, gets back on the track, but it is only lap number 9. Don't forget, folks, coming up at the top of the hour, round number 6 of the Xfinity Trail, the first road race of the season at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, where the Cup Series will be racing this weekend. Same with Xfinity and trucks. I am looking forward to that one. I'm a huge COTA fan, and I'm pumped up for what's going to happen this Sunday. Talked with Austin Cindric as well earlier in the week on how stacked this race is on Sunday. He said it's going to be really cool.
Oh, that's cool. Boy, these things are a handful under yellow.
Absolutely, I've felt that before too. Come to the Mission 22 restart zone after another Salty Dogs yellow. Back to green. Grandy holds serve on Templeton. Top 3 back to single file. First double file restart of the day. Flaro takes a peek underneath Templeton. They nearly touch in turn 2. As they keep going, there's the race for 4th. A lot of cars up in the wall as they stack up behind Salas.
And I'm hit behind. You gotta love it.
Collects as well, Randy Shreves. Yeah, I think you keep your spot though.
Yeah, I had to check up for cars in front of me, but you know, the guy behind me, I guess, didn't know I was.
Oh, good job, Randy. Had that thing on all 4 wheels. Too much throttle. Puts it on the side. Look at what happened in real time. Shreves just gets Dean. Man, Dean with a heck of a save.
Yeah, it's just...
It's right on board with the 56.
It wasn't by any skill, I can tell you that much right now.
Another contact from Barker. Now, watch this. He's got it back on all 4s.
Looked like his rear end was kicked out, though.
Yeah, he loops it around. Yeah, that rear end was kicked out.
So that's our 3rd yellow, so we're going to be single file from here on out.
Lights are off. Salty Dog caution just about to wrap up. I believe they shortened up that caution. Taking one
Yeah,
last
Jeffrey
lap.
was saying that if there's nobody in the pits, he will.
Nice move from Jeff Barker to do that. I believe that's who it is. Working race controls. We're back to green. 20 laps remain. Can Grandy hold serve? He diamonds the corner as Templeton works the top. Gap is a couple of car lengths. Lawson tries to go to work on Bixler. Both up the racetrack. Here comes John Hine, looking to go 2 for 1. And Bixler gets turned off of Lawson. Hang on, Salas is involved. Big wreck. Salas is in the fence. Butterfield on his lid. Heavy hit. A terrible accident. What a shame for Bixler. A great run, and now put to the rear for being involved in that. Watch what happened. Trying to save it. Lawson just tries to get back going, then yeah, just got the door. Brilliant. This is where it gets ugly. Salas nowhere to go, and then when he has nowhere to go, Butterfield has nowhere to go, and it's just a horrible, horrible wreck. Right on board with Salsa.
Yeah, it looks like Bixler really lost a lot of steam by getting sideways.
Watch this. This is going to get bad. Man, the front end is gone. You can see the Billy the Kid engine.
Oh, and when your hood goes, iRacing deducts 20% of your power.
Really?
So that's not good. Yeah, yep. When your hood's off, you lose power. You can still race,
Yeah.
but you lose power. Yeah,
Absolutely. Unless you have a quick repair, then it'll go back to full power.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's what both will do, I believe. Salas, I believe, is actually DNF'd the race car. He's got
He already disconnected. Yeah.
the front end is.
So did Butterfield.
Yeah, the front ends are demolished off of both. That's probably one of the worst impacts I've seen with a modified on iRacing.
So the moral of the story is you don't race in your underwear.
How many cold brown moments do you think Salas has had this evening?
I don't want to know.
Yep, I just went there. Back to green, 12 laps complete. So Grandy holds as he diamonds 1 and 2. Does Templeton have anything for Grandy at the moment? Starts to pull away just a bit. Bad entry though for the 518. Templeton smooth. Lawson looks around. Flaro for third. Work there at the moment. That's the closest race at the moment. Lawson up on the cushion. He's got a good drive off turn 2. Pulls up to the quarter panel. Ooh, some slight contact. Flaro sideways. Hine may take advantage of fourth here too. Can Lawson secure the line? He can. Hine in fourth, Flaro fifth, Dean Reynolds in sixth spot. After being involved in an accident with Shreves earlier. Flaro's in big trouble here at the moment, guys, and I mean big trouble. That low line is just not working with the big block. It can work with the 358, but not with a big block. That top side is in. It's in big time. Flaro's the only one down the bottom. He's in the sucker hole at the moment. Now he's down to 8th, making 7th. Got Cody Graham and Jeff Sharp in a race for 8th position. Graham hangs on for right now. Everyone up on the top side of the racetrack. Grandy continues to lead as we're past halfway. 1.4 second advantage. Let's go to the Reynolds Hines show. Ooh, hang on there. John just bounced off the wall.
Yeah, John's going to be a little nervous here.
Dean's pressuring him big time. On board with the professor. Got that mounted on the bumper bars. This is the best race on track. All happening for fourth. Oh no, Schatzer!
Come on. Jesus Christ.
That ruined everything, and we're still green.
Yep.
Not even a caution flag.
I could, like John Hines says, I want to say a lot of things, but it's just no use for that.
We can
No
understand.
use for that.
Lawson, meanwhile, has closed in on Brandon Templeton for second spot. You think Templeton's car may be fading here, Dean?
I have no idea. It's just, where's he running, top or bottom?
He's running top.
He's running top. Well, the top is getting thinner and thinner, so it's, it depends how you're doing the throttle and everything else. If you miss it a little bit, you can lose some momentum in the middle of the corners.
Templeton just bounced off the wall. Lawson tries to take advantage. Can he get bite off at turn number 4? He can't. 9 laps to go. This racing for second could bring Hine closer and closer to the action. He's 1.6 seconds back. Oh man, who's back on the throttle first? It was Lawson. Side by side. Templeton in the wall again. Loses a lot of speed. He's glued to that wall. Man, he's in trouble. Now can he hang on to third? A lot of right side damage to the 31. Lawson's got a car dialed in this evening, Dean.
Yeah, Brian does love to run big blocks. He really does. He's a good big block runner.
Schatzer and Flero for 5th spot. Flero as well, excuse me, Schatzer rather. He started from the 20th position. Could take 5th here at the start finish line. Slide job from Superman. I think it can pay off here. Which it does. And now Cody Graham tries to fight on Flero for 6th.
On the front stretch flipping.
John Krupa. Oh man, that's a wild flip. Side over side, end over end. Ends a 3.6 second lead that Grandy had. Here's what happened to Krupa. Contact with Barker, who he caught the wall. And there it went. Wild flip. Dean, imagine if these big blocks had the new damage motto on them.
Well, that or what a lot of people are waiting for is actual tire wear.
That's true,
And,
especially with the
yeah,
right rear.
Yes, if they put in tire wear, that might not be good for me. Because I like running the high side all out on the gas, which means I'm going to wear tires. So I'm hoping it doesn't come, but if it does, we're just going to have to change a few things.
I would like to see... Man, Dean, you went on the wildest flip of the evening. You just watched it quickly before you went out of the ballpark.
Well, and yeah, unfortunately, when you go out of the ballpark, it automatically throws you into the pits.
I just want to run with the new damage model so I can race like Billy Dunn's 358 was in Super Dirt Week. Alrighty, 5 to go. Here we go. Can Grandy go 2 for 2 this season? Or can Templeton go 2 for 2 in a night? Or can Lawson pull up the upset? Hines got a run on Schatzer. Or I should say the opposite way. Look out! Hyde and Templeton. Hyde is around. Can he save it? He cannot. Cody Graham also caught up. Both the Troyer cars involved.
Go ahead, Cody.
Right in your face at home.
Well, John, when I was behind John was really going into corners hard, but then he would get his car really sideways, and I know he doesn't run these a lot, and it was really hard to stay off of him when I was going into corners behind him. So I don't know if anything happened there or if John just went in hard or what, but he had good entry speed, but then he had to really get sideways.
Let me tell you something. I thought Brandon Templeton was out immediately with this contact. Look at the car control. Look at the wheel. Had a handful there in that number 31. What a save. So that takes a lap off. We'll have 4 to go when we come back to green. Gary Sigelkow watching, rooting for Brian Lawson. Four to go. Schatzer sends it in. Here's Templeton and Flero once again. Now, Templeton did lose a spot to Schatzer in that situation. Three laps to go. Masso bounces off the wall. He's had a good recovery in 6th spot. Make it 5th if he can get past Jeff Flero. Two laps remain for Joseph Grandy. One lap to go, meanwhile, for Joseph Grandy. Will be win number 2 of the season. Started on pole. He's led all 29 laps this evening, make it 30 through a clean 3 and 4. Joseph Grandy, race 2, win 2 of the season. Checkers out, he takes Williams Grove Speedway. Lawson second, trouble behind at the end. Baker goes around. Lawson second, Schatzer third, Templeton fourth. Jacob Mossow comes home to finish in 5th. Biggest mover is Schatzer from 20th to 3rd.
Well, another 8X, and I didn't touch a single car. Gotta love it. That hurts you in points and I rating, but it is what it is.
Top 3 will pose for a photo. Tough break for Brandon Templeton at the end of this. He had a good top 3 car. That long run, it looked like he was going to finish 3rd, but when that long run ended, everything just scattered up, and maybe that left side damage he had off John Hine may have affected his steering, maybe the suspension.
And that is tough when your steering is gone here, because the entry into the corners with your speed, I know, because that 358 race, I had my hands full.
So get the top 3 all in here, and then we will begin with our proceedings. And we've got our 3rd place finisher in with Kurt Schatzer. Kurt, a good charge. I'll begin with this. You're the hard charger, up 17 spots into 3rd. Just walk us through how that all paid off for you there at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to go where other guys wasn't. I think I just got lucky making my way up through the field there. I got to start off and give your co-host Dean there a big apology. I don't know, they got stacked up, and I had some force coming, and I think I sent them over the fence. So I got to say sorry, Dean.
I did wind up by the water truck. Yeah, no, I was telling Marty earlier, John was going into the corners, and he was going in, and the car would get really, really sideways. And I knew that, so I kind of let off the gas to expect that to not get into John. And, you know, with you behind the entry speed that you're going, it's tough to let off.
Yeah, like I said, I got to apologize for that. But all in all, I mean, it was a good race. I got to be proud of, I mean, I think I came from about 20th. So, I mean, to get on a podium 2 in one night, I got to be happy with that.
Absolutely. You actually got to beat your teammate, too, this time. After what happened in the 358 race where you couldn't pass him. You got him on the final lap.
Yeah, well, he, I don't know if you noticed, but he was crab walking for probably most of the race, probably from a lap
I think it had to do,
something.
I think it had to do from the wall contact.
So he told me over the radio if I got up beside him that he would kind of take it easy on me.
Gotcha.
So I gotta thank him there on that one.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, the team there, Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton, Brian Dickens, and Joe Halter, and Got Your Six Racing Network with him. And the main sponsor, Dirt Track Bank with Jay and everything they do for dirt racing around the country. And Roger Preston for giving us a place to race. And you, Marty, for doing an awesome broadcast for us. So we appreciate every time you come out for us.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great job this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Kurt Schatzer, our 3rd place finisher. 2nd place finisher, we'll talk with him. That is Brian Lawson. Brian, that was a fun car. That was a fun race there for you. Did you feel like you had a really good long run car this evening?
Yeah, I kept getting pissed when the cautions kept coming out. Yeah, definitely had a good long run car. I was liking that top. It started, and it was probably half driver error. Towards the end, I started getting it up a little bit higher than I wanted to, but the adrenaline starts to flow and you drive it in a little too hard, and she drifts up a little further than you want to. But all in all, very happy. I really thought I was going to settle for 3rd there, and all of a sudden I realized I was catching Brandon. I'm like, holy cow, I'm catching him. That's kind of odd. And I caught him, and when I got to his inside, he didn't fight me at all. I kind of wonder if he had damage or something.
Yeah, that's what Kurt told us. He was crowd
Oh,
walking
okay.
in lap 5.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay, that explains it. Yeah, because you don't usually pass him and pull away from him like that. But all in all, good night, good race.
Lawson, I was coming, brother. I was coming.
I'm sure you were, buddy.
I wound up by the water truck outside turn 2. But one comment I wanted to say, Marty, too. Not a comment, but a question. Brian, we talk often, but what is it about you in big blocks? Because, you do have speed in 358s, but when you get to the big blocks, there's like a little magic there. Is it because you like to feather the throttle a little bit more than others? Or you got such a lot of speed? Or is it just being comfortable?
Sometimes I'm actually more comfortable in the 358, just if I start overdriving the big block. But I think the thing that helps me the most in the big block is the just the fact that it's got that much more horsepower and it doesn't bog down if you get down low in a corner. You've got more ability to use that throttle to pick up that pace quick coming off the corner. And I guess that's what happened. What helps me. I really can't think of anything else.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, buddy.
Brian, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Oh, obviously you guys for doing the broadcast, Coast to Coast Racing League for all they do, Super Dirt Car Series, Napa Auto Parts, Magnum Race Design, and especially all my guys at Venom Racing.
Absolutely, man. All right, we'll let you go. Congratulations. Great run.
Good job, brother.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
Absolutely, you too. That's Brian Lawson, our second place finisher. Let's go to Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Talk with your race winner. It's Joseph Grandy. Joseph, not bad, man. Not bad starting in heat race number 1, getting the pill draw, and then leading all 30.
Yeah, it's rare for that to happen for me. But, won the heat race, start on the pole, and it just makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely, for sure. 2 big block races and 2 big block wins. How are you feeling to begin this season? The confidence has got to be through the roof to begin with that.
Finally saying about dang time. Jesus. Yeah, a long time coming. Just things didn't run right for me. Luck wasn't there, and I'm sure it's going to run out soon.
Absolutely, man. Other than that, I got to ask, too, you had that long run in the race over a 3-second lead. What were you thinking when that yellow came out?
I was thinking, oh man, something's gonna happen. Yeah, I think it was almost 5 seconds. Jeez, I was surprised. Templeton's usually, right there on me. All those guys are. I don't know what was in my car tonight, but whatever it was, it worked. But yeah, I figured caution was gonna come out, and I was just hoping that no one was gonna go on the inside of me. I'm surprised no one tried, but I was getting really good jumps off the start, and that probably is what saved me.
Next week is I-55. What's the outlook like?
One of my favorites, so it all depends on the draw. It's a good one.
You ain't kidding about that, Joseph. Man, I had 2 6 draws, and I tell you, you're busting your butt with a 6-lap heat.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
I finished last in the 358 heat, and I ended up coming from 23rd to 4th in that. But you got to hope you stay out of trouble. That's the only thing you can really do.
That's because I didn't throw that oil down on the inside like I said it was going to.
Joseph, who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I'd like to thank Catalytic Recovery, West End Towing and Repair, all the guys over at Training Wheels Racing. I'd like to thank you for doing the broadcast, coast to coast, and all the guys behind the scenes that make it run, and my girlfriend Olivia for letting me do this every night.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
Win number 2 of the season for Joseph Grandy in the 518. He's in Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Official results here for you this evening. Joseph Grandy with the win. Brian Lawson 2nd. Kurt Schatzer 3rd. Brandon Templeton 4th. Jacob Masso 5th. Jeff Flero 6th. Jeff Sharp 7th. Patrick Spangler 8th. Bob DeGood 9th. Craig Levin 10th. You see 11 through 20 on your screen. Randy Shreves was 21st. Goldner and Wentz did not take the green flag. So we will step aside here as when we come back, it is asphalt time. Dean, appreciate you joining me this evening.
We'll glad to have you on Thursday there, Marty.
Absolutely.
It's good to get back to your roots.
Absolutely. We'll run it back Monday for Renegades.
Yes, when I get done with my deal, I'll be back in and watch the the best guys in sprint cars do their thing.
Sounds good, man. All right, we'll step aside here. Asphalt Dakota coming up next on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks 4 wide, the crowd pounding, earth shaking, window rattling feet of the Northeast. It's the big block modified Super Dirt Car Series.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
go fast and start to power slide. We salute you with the big blocks, 4 wide. The crowd-pounding, earth-shaking, window-rattling beast of the Northeast. It's the Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are just about ready to go. It's Xfinity Trail time. We are at Circuit of the Americas. We should be in for a good one today here as well. Nice view overhead of Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Over 3 miles long with a lot of twists and turns here. So you take a look at this road course. We're going to show you as well throughout this entire race a track map and show you where your favorite driver is. There's Jeremy Tate. We're going to ride on board for his first lap here. You see where he is. See now at the amphitheater area. We showed you this. We showed you in our intro a lot of the the beautiful points here. Of course, the uphill entering turn number 1. You saw the long straight. So the observatory tower. You can see everything of the racetrack, every part of this racetrack. We'll ride on board here for a lap with Jeremy Tate. "20 turns, the Circuit of the Americas." Don't do what he just did. That won't give you a good lap time. We'll pull up the dash, show you what it looks like. Of course, 4 gears. Start-finish line right here. Meter board's on the right. Heavy braking point at turn number 1. You'll see the drivers maybe even 5 wide at one point here in this one. Then it's a sweeping downhill, a right-hander, then into a narrow part of Vestas that can also get really tight and also lead to a bunch of spin outs whenever you look at the start of every F1 race. And you gotta be careful of those orange turtles there too. Those can lift your car up in the air, can do some good work to the suspension. And here comes the second hairpin the drivers have to go through. Meter boards on the right. Got to be really careful not to go too heavy on the brakes or else you could lock them up, flat spot the tires. Then this is where it gets to be fun. The longest straight of Circuit of the Americas. Meter boards again on the right. Where does he brake? Brakes it around the 300-meter sign, kind of a little bit similar to Watkins Glen. Lets off with that left-hander, and then it gets really technical on this side. Another, probably the slowest part, in my opinion, of this racetrack. That left, then this right hand, and a couple of lefts. Really laying off. You're cruising just around the speed a car would go on a route, not an interstate route. Gets a little bit faster here. These right-handers. Got to be very careful on the throttle here. You don't want to go too much, so that your car doesn't either go tight, wide, or you can lose the car from the rear end. No meter boards here, so you got to be really careful about your braking points on the left side on these left-handers. The big driver to watch out here closely for in this race, you see him on top of the boards. Bob Lane, the number 77. He's the GT3 champ in the series. Light currently the quickest, a 2:17.49. At the moment, just about 2.3 seconds better. Aiden Young, third quick in the Young Gun Creations number 69 with a 2:19.81. Car count just over 20 drivers here this evening. Kyle Moonen coming across the line now. You see how we normally have the qualifying mode set for your favorite drivers. You see it's different this time. Not 2 sectors, but split up into 4 different sectors. With it being a road course, you see Light is the quickest of any driver in Sector 2. Moonen's lap invalidated. A lot of drivers will either have invalidated laps or decide not to even take the green. Pardon me. Next guy coming across the line will be Light shortly. Look at that. Quickest of anyone in sectors 2 and 3. And the red dots mean the end of a sector. So you see just before the S's is where sector 1 ends. Before the left-hand hairpin, the second one is sector 2 ends. The straight is sector 3. Then to the end is sector 4. And I mean, what a lap for Light he puts on here for lap 2. 2:17.07. That start-finish line as well. As you see, Spangler has spun. That start-finish line is right there at that line there. It's not like the actual NASCAR version where the start-finish line is right here. Jeff Barker making his way through turns 19 and 20. Better in the last 2 sectors. 2:23.14 is second lap time. Not good enough. Should be done with qualifying about 2 minutes from now. Kyle Moonen coming across the line. Does he have a better lap here? He's got one more left-hander in turn 20. Better in sector 3, but he does post a lap. 2:22.91. Now, some of these drivers that may come out late are maybe just trying to get some practice. Of course, there were so many practice sessions. A lot of drivers told their friends and their fellow competitors Make sure you get a lot of practice in with a road course, a very tough road course. You really need to put the time in. If you don't, you could be in for a long one and could be causing some wrecks that your teammates don't want to be a part of. We're just putting the iRacing logo up here so it doesn't interfere with anything else. There you see that uphill into turn one we were mentioning. That's a really treacherous corner overall in NASCAR, in my opinion, as a whole. So 30 more seconds of qualifying. Jeff Barker has been actually putting in some work. Actually, as I say that, he's now off the track. So it's Bob Light that will start from pole position with a 2:17.07. So 15 drivers of about the 24 or so take time. And so we're ready to go. It's a 24 driver car count. Let's meet the field. Here's the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row, Bob Light in the 77 and Aiden Young in the 69. Row number 2 is Stephen Goldner in the 30 and Zach Chapman in the 72. Row number 3 is Patrick Spangler in the 39 and Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 4, Matthew Robinson in the 15 and Andy Smith in the 79. Rounding out your top 10, Jeremy Tate in the 8, Kyle Moonen in the 24. Row number 6, Brandon Kanian in the number 19, Colin Johnston in the 13. Row 7, Brian Lawson in the 9 and Jeff Kemper in the 181. Row number 8, Jacob Butcher in car number 85, Mark Gilbert in the 76. Row 9, Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 61, Butch Baker in the 97, and row 10, the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747, and Pat Boyce in the 41. Row 11, the A-Lit Outlaw, Preston Cranmer in the 07, and Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 12, rounding out the field, Tim Chapman in the 37, and Dwayne Simons in the 25. Set the scene here for you. 25 laps is the race. There is a pit window. Fuel limit is at 50%, so if I were to guess, the stop will be around lap 13, 15 or so. And local yellows in this one because it is a road race. There will not be any full course cautions like you normally see in the oval races. So we're just waiting for 3 more drivers rather, to make their way up. Let's give you the point standings coming on in here for the Xfinity Trail. It is Dwayne Simons, who I believe is starting from pit road, and he is. He's got the point lead at the moment with a win this season. That was a Daytona win. 9-point advantage on Mark Gilbert, who's second in points. Jeffrey Kemper is third, 10 points behind Simons. 16 back, Colin Johnston. And then 17 behind Zach Chapman. That's the top 5 in points. Very tight at the moment. Again, this goes by the actual NASCAR point system over the traditional Coast-to-Coast Racing League point system. There you see the field make their way through the amphitheater and observation tower turns. Actually, you can see Dale Jr. and Steve Myers. Yes, I'll give that one away at the stage. That's the third time I've ever found them. There's the favorite starting on pole, Bob Light in the number 77. Aiden Young could be the underdog. Stephen Goldner, Fast Anywhere in the number 30, starting third. Scooby-Doo, Zach Chapman's been impressive lately. Now we know the Renegade champ, the high side banger, and Patrick Spangler. 2 drivers will start for the pits, Roger Craig and Dwayne Simons. We can confirm it. Two more corners to go, and then we are road racing for the first time this season. In the Xfinity Series, we're set for the Lucy Olson start. No salty dog cautions in this one, but we got a couple salty dogs in the field, which is always fun to see. Steve King Foundation pace car will make the left-hand turn to pit road right now off of turn number 20. Light and Young will bring us to the green flag. Again, so glad you could join us. We're set to go racing. Showtime at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. We hope you enjoy us with the ride. Couple lockups there from Ishkanian, but it's Bob Light that has the early lead. Preston Cranmer has crashed it. He keeps the car going. And now it's the tough part here, these sweeping S's. The left, the right, the left, the right again. Dwayne Simons just coming out. You see the curb hop there from Barker. And one of the right-hander parts, he is in the 6th spot. But he keeps the car going, though, as of right now. Best battle, Zach Chapman, Patrick Spangler for the 4th position. Pull the map up, show you where your favorite drivers are on your screen, based off the numbers. On board with Zach Chapman into the 2nd left-hander hairpin. Bad exit from Stephen Goldner. Chapman to try and take advantage of it. Here they come down the long straightaway. That's where DRS would normally be enabled if this were Formula One races. 2 side-by-side races. Kyle Moonen looking to take advantage that's Robinson looking for 6 on Barker. Chapman's got 3rd from Stephen Goldner. How's this tie up in the left-hander? Simons is off track. There's the 30 off track. Couple lockups from 3 of them. That's Robinson, Barker, and Moonen off in the left-hander, and they fall outside of the 8th position on back. Well, that got a little bit wild there, but luckily everyone keeps it going. Isaac Salas has crashed it. He's in the 17th spot, and we got one sideways again. That is, I believe, that's the 85 of Butcher, and it is who has spun it. And he is relegated back down to the 22nd position. And so it's Bob Light through turns 19 and 20. And he will lead lap number 1. Nice view of the drivers here as they come across the start-finish line. Let's watch the race for 4th. Spangler and Chapman for the Young Gun Creations drone making their way into turn number 1. Lock up from Goldner once again. Chapman's got it, but here's the fight back from the high side banger on the left side this time. It's Chapman with a preferred line in the right-hander in turn 2. So Chapman's got control of that. Let's go to the 8th spot. Jeremy Tate against Jeff Barker. Tim Chapman has crashed. He's off track. Has he barreled it? He has. That's in turn 2. Or check that, actually. That's in turn 1, the heavy left-hander. Well, we'll try and get replays whenever somebody wrecks. Here's what happened to the driver of the 37. Was going up. Did he cook the brakes in turn 1? Oh, he hit some. Oh, man. Just went in way too hot. And into, guess what do they call it? It's the opposite of safer barriers in F1. I forgot what they call it. Second left-hander, Robinson and Barker trying to rebound after they went off, and the left-hander after the straight. They are 7th and 8th respectively. Kyle Moonen hasn't really gained a lot of ground. He's currently scored in P11. Terry Landis reports that he just went slow in the left-hander. He's good to go. Stephen Goldner, Zach Chapman again. Battle, bottom step of the podium on the line. Oh, Chapman sideways. Around he goes. Now he tries to get it back going again. Local yellows. Keep in mind that just alerts drivers when exit takes place. You can gain or lose spots under yellow. That puts him back in the 9th spot. You see Colin Johnston off the track for just a moment as Moonen looks to take away a position. So Moonen regains. He's back up to the 10th spot. Ishkanian Had spun it, same with Terry Landis. That's after, believe that's after the quick left-hander, and you see Chapman spun it once again. Getting wild there in the back of the field at the moment. I believe as well, drivers do have unlimited incidents here with it being a road race this weekend. Here comes Zach Chapman trying to rebound. Underneath Jeremy Tate in turn 1. Makes it look easy. Hops the turtle, but it doesn't matter. He's got P8. Butch Baker reports that he has crashed it, but he's got it back going. Colin Johnston, Jeff Kemper, Isaac Salas. That is in Sector 1. They're about to enter the S's. You see Salas and Kramer. They just want to be patient. Let's ride on board with Salsa. Kemper, man, look at the throttle control he's got. Nearly goes off the track. Just shows you with the drivers that run dirt, they know how to control the throttle in anything. And you see Salas wants to take advantage of this 13th position. Heavy left-hander, but into the back of Johnston. And rear end damage on the number 13, which could be big arrow rise as Salas looks to take advantage. That's the race for 12th. Won't use too much of the draft. Pulls out a line underneath. Now, who outbreaks who first? It's going to get interesting. Matthew Robinson, I believe, has crashed it. It's Johnson out of the outbreak. Look at all the racing he's doing against Andrew Smith. Just trying to hold him off in the slow part of the track. Let's go back to the 12th place race. Salas takes it from Colin Johnston. Mark Gilbert reports that he binned it, but he's good. So Salas takes away 12th. He's your biggest mover of this race. Decided not to qualify. Doesn't have a good asphalt I rating. 592 as he doesn't compete on asphalt road a lot. So he's up in the 12th spot, your biggest mover of this race. It's Bob Light currently with the advantage at the moment. 1.6 seconds is the gap over Aiden Young, who rides in P2. Surprised that Bob Light doesn't have a bigger gap considering all the GT3 road experience. But Aiden Young, you can put him in any car at any track, and he'll wheel it pretty well. Let's go to 19th, Butch Baker and Tim Chapman. That's in turn 19. Ooh, Baker just about goes off in the Whataburger corner. Chapman may take advantage of it. Looks underneath. They just about touch in turn 20. Chapman is around. He went around like the Tasmanian devil. Back to the race for 7th. Chapman trying to rebound from the spin. Bold move on Jeff Barker. In that short left-hander. Here comes Moonen to make it a three-way race for 7th. And Chapman's crashed it once again. This time he's in turn 1, the same spot where he went head-on and went too hot in. Let's go to Preston Cranmer for 12th on Brian Lawson. Cranmer leading a train of Lawson, Johnston, and company. Oh my. Did Zach Chapman crash once again? Nope. They were just slow once again along with Jeff Barker. That'll confuse us throughout the day, so just a heads up, that will confuse us just a little bit. Because the slow speeds the drivers go here in this technical part of the racetrack. So let's ride on board for a lap here with Aiden Young while we're at it. If we do get any wrecks, we will try and rewind them for you. I want a good one here. Here we go. This will be a nice one to watch. You see that there's a lot of patience by the New Hampshire Rocket. And patience, in my opinion, is really what will win you these races. Dwayne Simons has crashed. He's got the car back going. A lap here around COTA normally feels like forever. But we got Butcher, Boyce, and Baker that have all crashed. We'll look at that in just a moment. That's at the 14-minute mark of this race. It's very smooth here. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. After you're going down such a long straightaway, how he doesn't lock the brakes up, where he's braking. As early as he can. He just wants to be patient and just downshift and clutch at the right time. Now you see Light with a small mistake. So Young's able to pull in just a bit. Even in first gear, the throttle control, that's just amazing. Both Young and Light are really showing that they're the contenders in this one. Oh, hang on. Man, that dirt track race experience really paid off for the New Hampshire Rocket. As both Young and Light are hanging on to it. That's one thing I don't think Light really has, is the dirt track experience. But that is a lap around COTA. Let's look at Butcher, Boyce, and Baker. Let's see if they got together at one point. That's the 85 of Butcher you're watching. So Butcher loses it. I'm not sure what part of the track that is. I think that's just after the S's. Let's check if there was something with Boyce and Baker. Now they're racing for position. And keep in mind the fonts you're seeing are kind of like the old dirt fonts. Oh, he locked them up, cooked them. I think the same thing happened too for Butcher, yeah. So action continues here at the moment. Best battle we've got Colin Johnston, Jeff Kemper for 11. This is Colin Johnston, the gap he's got with Jeremy Tate in front. Baker reports that he's spun it, and he has. That is in, I believe, turn 13, if not turn 14, and he may lose the 19th position to Pat Boyce. Let's go to that Tate-Johnston battle, or rather the Johnston-Kemper battle for 11th. That's the closest one on track. 0.8 of a second between 11th and 12th. I believe as well, keep in mind, oh, they do have to pit in this one. We're only working lap number 6. Ooh, hang on, Kemper. Just a bit sideways. So that gap is starting to open up. Zach Chapman reports that he's spun it, and he has. That's just past the long straight, and Jeff Barker locks them up. Salas nearly locks them up, but what a charge he's making. He's up 14 positions into 8th spot. Can take a look as well and tell you that there can be points in this race where drivers suffer a lot of off tracks in this one. And when you see a driver that has a red highlighted around their number on the map, that just that shows you when they're off track. Aiden Young and Brennan Ishkanian have 0 off tracks in this one. The driver with the most, Patrick Spangler, just went off for a second just to get some asphalt. The ones with the most are Colin Johnson, Matthew Robinson, Dwayne Simons, each with 13. Simons currently in the last spot at the moment. Remember, he started from the pits to see if he can use it to his advantage. Mark Gilbert is in this race a couple of spots ahead. He is just about 7 spots ahead, so not bad, honestly. Jeff Kemper, though, running outside the top 10 could definitely help him out points-wise and close in. Same with Zach Chapman. But what I'm surprised the most of to see Brandon Ishkanian the way he's running at the moment, currently scored in 15th. Not the race that he is wanted in the Team Watson number 19. Hearing Terry Landis has crashed, but he is good. Oh boy. We have not seen this yet. We have taken a NASCAR Xfinity car and have turned it into a Boston Modified. And that is Matthew Robinson's Toyota Camry. That car looks like Herbie, and ironically, I watched parts of that movie last on YouTube when I was bored. But this is not bad, honestly. If it was an oval, that would be a big issue, but now you kind of see the suspension just a little bit bent on the left front. It will be a major factor, you know, like when he's on the straights. Like this part here where he can lose a lot of speed, but he's starting 7th. Down to 13th. Good battle here for 10th. Colin Johnston all over Jeremy Tate. Couple Carlings separating them. Oh, Tate wheel hopped it. And Johnston breaks into the top 10. He started in the 12th spot. There's Kemper up there as well. Aiden Young, though, got to give him credit. He's closed this gap down a lot on Bob Light. You see they're working on some lap traffic, but Young doesn't want to deal with that. Some contact with Butch Baker, but that gap is 1 second between first and second here at the moment. There you see it right now from the Young Gun Creations drone. Ooh, Young loses it. You saw the tires freak out there, the skid marks. It's down to 0.7 of a second. Here's how it's looked the last 5 laps. Light may be conserving or he used his stuff up too early. 2 of the last 5 laps have been critical. We could be seeing a battle for the lead here momentarily as Light continues to blank out. And Young is right there to ride on board. You see Young trying to use that draft. Light wants to try and break it down the straight. Something that we saw too earlier today on iRacing social media, which obviously is not a factor we could see in the foreseeable future. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about rain being added into the game for road courses only. Don't know if we want to take notes on that in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Of course, we saw some posts on the Coast to Coast Lounge. A bunch of drivers excited. That gap, 0.7 of a second. If anything changed, we'll get to you on that. Here's Isaac Salas on Jeff Barker for 7th down the long straight, the back straight. Salas with a big run. Tries to outbreak Barker here in the left-hander, which he does. Locks them up, but Salas, oh, he goes to the runoff area. Barker fights it back. Bob Light brings the 77 in. And so we'll have a new leader, Aiden Young. So Light will try to use the undercut. Young will try and beat Light out on pit road with a lap of fresher tires, which is 3 miles, which can definitely be pivotal. We'll watch the 77 stop. Steven Goldner also brings the 30 in. Let's go to Salas as he's just trying to rebound on Jeff Barker. Not bad of an exit for Salas, but I think Barker had the better exit. I think Salas is better on corner entry. Barker's just better on corner exit. Ooh, be careful here, be careful here. Just about cooked it and locked him up, had to get off the throttle. So Bob Light came out in the second spot. He's 30 seconds behind Aiden Young. It was a 43.95 on pit road. So the undercut will work to Light's advantage when Young comes in, which will likely be this lap. That's when we expect it. When do Barker and Salas come in? So that was 8 laps. So this is a 3-stop race. And drivers will likely have to pit with 2 to go. And this is a track where you don't want to save fuel, because this is a 3-mile-long course. And if you run out of fuel on the back straight, you're toast. Barker lets Salas go, or does Barker have an issue? I think he let him go. That's the issue. Yeah, that was the situation there. Simons just crashed before approaching the back straight. Aiden Young, let's see here. We'll check and see if he decides the pit. Gap is just about 30 seconds on Bob Light. He's in turn number 19, and he should pit now if I were Aiden. And that's the plan. 50 miles an hour pit road speed. And we'll check the merge here closely. Another crash just happened a couple moments ago down the straight. You see a lot of smoke. Lawson tries to close in on Zach Chapman. On board with Lawson. Light exiting turn number 4, turn 20 rather, right now. There's Young. There's Light. And Light will take the lead. Young's coming out. So Young will have 3 miles of fresher tires. Not a lot of change in speed, though, so Bob Light with the advantage by 1.3 seconds, so doesn't gain too much as we've got Colin Johnston, who was stopped on the racetrack. That is in turn 19. And I think he was coming in pit road. Check another angle on the Malcolm's replay. Racing with Kemper for position. He lost it. Too much right foot. Oh! Kisses the guardrail. So 1.7 second advantage for Bob Light on Aiden Young. More drivers are in. Colin Johnston, we're assuming he used the quick repair, which he did. Fresh number 13. Puts him back out in 15th with the spin. Jacob Butcher brings the 85 into pit road. Waiting on a couple more drivers. Amongst the top 10, 5 drivers have yet to pit. Andrew Smith, Jeff Kemper, Brian Lawson, Brandon Ishkanian, and Mark Gilbert. We'll watch the 79 of Andrew Smith. He started in 8th. He's running in 3rd. So got another race for 9th. Mark Gilbert, hang on. Wow, what a save. Now, if he had purple stuff on the car instead of Sunny D, bye-bye. Loses 2 spots, but what a save from Gilbert, who's now in 11th because of that. Andrew Smith brings the 79 now into pit road. And let's go back to the lead because Aiden Young has cut the gap down to 0.6 of a second. Young wants to go after him. Could Light be conserving tires here? So the undercut barely works on Light's end. Only issue that Aiden Young's dealing with right now in front of it is Bob Light's blinking. Now, I've experienced that in person when I'm racing for the lead, a guy in front blinking. You really want to find a way to take advantage of it, but sometimes you don't want to because you don't want to crash the guy out of nowhere. But sometimes, you sometimes have no choice. If he crashes him, you have to say, you're blinking. Not my problem. I can't see you. Or something like that. Obviously, we don't want to promote wrecking. It's not right and it's not fun, especially on road races. But I think you guys understand what I'm going through. But Light has been blinking that much. It's just on and off for every minute or so. Look at this. Here we go. Young pulls up. Just got a bit sideways. Just being easy with the throttle. Tries to pressure Bob Light into making a mistake. If you're Bob Light, you don't want to be looking out of that rear view mirror one bit. Just hit your mark. Simons has crashed, but we're focused on this race for the lead. 0.4 of a second separate. Overhead view as they approach the S's. Let us know who you're rooting for as well in the chat. Preston Kramer, who's driving right now, currently scored in the 17th spot. He says he loves the graphics. Glad you like him, Ayla Outlaw. Hearing Pat Boyce's crash. We're not going to watch any of these replays, though, until we get a big chance to watch them. Because this lead is very important at the moment. And this has been something to watch. Bob Light's on board. Young is up to the spoiler. Ooh, loose on exit. You can see him with a handful off of that hairpin. So Light with it for right now. Good left-hander by both. Now, if you look on your screen where they are, next car ahead is Preston Cranmer, but they don't have to worry about him for probably another lap or two. What a camera angle. Should mention, too, all the camera angles for this race provided by Track Camps by Gourmet. Ishvan does an incredible job. Just downloaded this package earlier today because I didn't have Coda, and it has been spectacular. Beautiful shots. Young just trying to look at Bob Light and just see where the best place is, where he's weak and where he's better at and where he can set the move up. And again, there's the blink like I talked about. Young looks better in turn 1. How about in turn 2? It's really about that throttle control. Both look good in turn 2. Yeah, it's really tough to tell. Let's go to his wow at it real quick. A race for 6th. Moon and Solace. If anything happens on the battle for the lead, we'll go back to you on it. If only we had 2 PCs, we'd watch the race for the lead and the race for 6 in the double box. But that lead is increasing. Aiden Young, that close call a couple moments ago. And so we'll focus on the race for 6th. So you look from the Young Gun Creations aerial shot. Both just being really patient at the moment, trying to force another into a mistake. If only these cars had DRS at road courses, oh man, we'd be in for a heck of a show. Drag reduction system. No down. Uh-oh. Did something happen with Isaac? Nope, we're good. Just showing you a nice camera shot. The gap for light has increased to a second. Ooh, Salas nearly puts the bumper on Moonen for 6. Salas up 15 spots. The second biggest mover is up 4. That's Moonen. Ooh, Matty. Hit that turtle. You don't want to be doing that when you're racing someone for a position. Landis reports of a crash, and he is off. There's the left-hander for Moonen again. Want to lock him up like what Moonen did. He saw the left front not move. That's the lockup. And there's another smoke. Salas to take advantage of it. Here we go. In the most technical part of the racetrack. So you pull up to the quarter panel. You want to be on the right side here in this section of the track. Moonen trying to force Salas off. Let's go to the race for the lead. Young back in on Bob Light. For those wondering where Kyle Moonen is, he's in turn 19, the 24 up on the screen. He's in turn 20. That's why we have the track map. Now, Light is up to Preston Cranmer. Could Cranmer use Aiden Young as a pick? No. Cranmer will let the 77 and 69 go by in this race for the lead. Salas can tell you he went off track for a second. That gap is back to 1.8 seconds. So lap traffic, heavy lap traffic too. That's Tim Chapman ahead, Butch Baker. These drivers that have had many off tracks today. Another view of the Young Gun Creations aerial shot. We've put a lot of drones here at COTA to give you a nice picture of what it's like overhead. Tim Chapman lets the top two by. Next guy is Butchie. And Butch doesn't know the leaders are behind him. This could provide a chance for Aiden Young to strike. I think he knows. Oh, man, that nearly got tight. All the way up on the spoiler. Now, when we get in these final laps, when do you make a move if you're Aiden Young? He wants to be really patient here at the moment. And he knows as well that there's, I think, one stop left. Now, what's working out well for Aiden here at the moment is he has the draft, but the thing is, you're not lifting, obviously. So, and Aiden is using the overcut, 1 lap less of fuel. The window opens with 8 laps to go. And we're seeing 2 guys in the pits. That's Simons and Boyce. Get back to the Moon and Salas battle. Back to 0.3 of a second. We'll go back and forth on each. Salas looks at 19 on Moonen. Tight there. Moonen shuts the door. How about in turn 20? Half a car length separate the two. Lights increase the lead again to a second on Aiden Young. In this lap traffic, that can be an issue. Here we go into turn 1. Nice corner from Moonen. You don't see the left front locking up. Even after a medium long straight. This This is the closest battle. And again, that's the race for 6th. So you can show this on your screen. There you go. That's how it's been the last 5 laps. It's been a lot of fun to watch. A half second separate the two. Also got a race for 15th, side by side, approaching the essays. Don't know if you want to be side by side. Tate lets off, gives Gilbert the spot for 15th. And back to Moon and Solace as Young has not been able to close the gap to under a second. I think Young may be saving just a bit so he can pit with 8 to go perhaps. Ooh, Solace off the track. He's just trying to use some asphalt. Every inch of asphalt he can. Again, no limit that the drivers have this evening. We've seen the most of 29 off tracks, 30 off tracks as well for many drivers. So while we are at it with 10 laps to go, we have yet to do this tonight. Let's take an opportunity, turn up the volume knob. Let's crank it up for you here at Circuit of the Americas. Solace just took away 5th from Kyle Moon, and he's up 17 spots. Next target is Patrick Spangler, who was 14 seconds ahead. Jeff Barker, I believe, just crashed for a split second. But the Bob Light lead is picking up big time. 2.2 seconds, and this is a guy that rarely makes mistakes on the road courses. And this would be as well for Bob Light. His first win of the season. He came in 9th in the standings. 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. Every time we go to a road course this season, he will be the favorite in this one. When you look at the road courses we have here, obviously the first one is Circuit of the Americas, but the other road courses that we have, the next one is, I don't know what it's going to be the weekend of June 3rd because I don't believe Portland is. Oh, hang on a second. That's Jeremy Tate. Let's put out, get a replay shortly. But there is also Sonoma, which we have June 19th. That's when Xfinity actually races. You've got the Chicago Street Course, late June. Road America on July 29th weekend. The IMS Road Course, the August 12th weekend. Watkins Glen, and then the Charlotte Roval during the playoffs. So let's go to Jeremy Tate and show you what happened. This is the hard left-hander past the back straight. Wheel hopped it again. Pit stops underway. Bob Light brings the 77 in. One final time. We do have 8 laps to go, so the window is open for everyone. And so Aiden has the lead, looking to use, again, 3 miles of fresher rubber to his advantage, and he's got to use them pretty good. Because Bob Light is starting to run away with this one, and you got to give credit to the way Aiden has raced Bob Light in this one. He's just been very patient, but he may have been too patient. I don't know, but he has given Bob Light a challenge. Probably I haven't seen Bob race road course races in the past. You know, I've raced with him before on like week 13, but this is a challenge that Bob Light has seen. May have been the best one. And maybe Roger, perhaps, I know he's watching. I know he's watching in race control, and perhaps he could follow up on that if he wants to say something on that too. Goldner's in for his final stop. So Bob is 26.5 seconds behind on Aiden. It's funny when you look at a road course like this because of how long it is. Young's obviously Bob's highest spot, and Aiden's the opposite way. Bob's lowest spot today has been second. Colin Johnston is off. That is entering the observation tower corners. Now let's take a brief look at what happened there. See if he lost it. He's in an 11th spot at the moment. It's not been a good day for him and Brandon Ishkani, and even Matthew Robinson too. Just couldn't even get it to stick on the left-hand side. Just had that wheel as hard left as possible. And just couldn't get it to drive. Young's got to pit this time here. He wants a chance. Obviously got to go through Tim Chapman. And we should see Aiden coming this lap. And he will. Good race developing for 5th. Andrew Smith against Stephen Goldner. Landis with a lockup for a split second, but this is one of the closer battles. Also have Robinson and Ishkanian entering the S's. Zach Chapman also closing on Jeff Barker. Look at this send from Scooby-Doo. Entering the hard left-hander, exiting the back straight. Man, what a corner from Zach. Just slams the door on Jeff Barker. That's like the slide job of all road courses, and I think Bob Light had an off moment. Aiden Young, after pitting, has the race lead. Oh my. Check this out here. So Bob's coming out. Young is exited already. What happens here? Young gets past. Contact with Mark Gilbert. Oh my goodness. Aiden Young may have just had the greatest pick I've ever seen. But this race is still on with 7 laps to go between the 69 and the 77. And they got Colin Johnston to deal with, who gets out of the way. This one's far from over between the two. And keep in mind, whoever loses, if they get together, the loser out of that will likely finish in second because Andrew Smith is 56 seconds behind. But drama here in the final frame at Coda. Smith and Goldner. 3rd place battle on the line. Goldner looks left. Smith went tight just a little bit in that corner. Looks for the shallow entry. Man, just a big door slam on Steven. He opens that to 0.6 of a second. Back to the lead. 0.4 between the top two. Let's compare these last 5 laps. First off, there's the battle for the race lead, but that's the pit strategy, how everyone's done. Here's the last 5 laps. Obviously, pit stops have been a factor in this situation. The last stop for each of the drivers, we can tell you, Aiden actually took a huge gamble. He did not take tires. He did a fuel-only stop. That's a risky move, especially on a road course. Obviously, with asphalt that it's only 9 years, actually just over 10 years old. That's a risky move from Aiden Young. Can he hold off Bob Light? Thing is, though, Bob Light was so much better on pit road as a whole. 7 seconds better, but it's maybe a little bit glitchy on our end. And Kyle Moonen just crashed a couple moments ago. Not sure what happened there. Check real quick. Then we got to get back to live footage. If anything happened with the Money King. Ooh, lockup. That's what it was, but we're good. Back to the lead. 5.5 laps remaining on the back end of the racetrack. Light tries to use the draft up Aiden Young. Pulls at a line. Wants to set up a nice arc here going into this corner. He is there, but then cuts it back. What a fun race to end this one. This is a great one, folks. Light with a better exit in that technical portion. It's about to get wild here, ladies and gentlemen. With the way these two have been battling all race long, do bumpers get used? Light's there once again. Does he pull out a line or does he use the bumper? Has to let off. Could this be a better exit for Bob Light? Yes, it is. Here we go, side by side off of turn 20. 5 figures remain. Down into turn number 1. Who outbreaks who first in the corner? Light tries to set it in. Young tries to cut him off. Does Bob Light have the lead? They both are sideways. Bob Light puts the 77 back out in front. Huge move there. That's some good defense by Aiden Young. That's much better offense from the Golden Road Racing in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Bad exit from Young off at turn 20. There was some contact, just barely. Young tries everything to pinch him off, but oh, Young got sideways in the center. Just tried to put the right foot on it. And Light goes out in front, but it is not over yet with 5 to go. It could be, again, remember, Light 4 tires, Young fuel only, and gutsy move. Young is still there. Has a slightly better exit. Now this is where, I don't know if you want to be patient now here if you're Aiden Young. If you're there on Bob Light, find a chance in a passing area. There's a couple of areas. You got turn 1 obviously for starters. The right-hander in turn number 2. The back of the hairpin on the back end of the racetrack. Then you've got exiting the back straightaway. And then turn number 19 and 20. Ooh, but Young sideways again. I think those tires are starting to wear out badly. He keeps the rear ends, keeps spinning them on the exit. He's getting really aggressive. And you see he's loose once again. I think his race is done. Bob Light has increased that lead to 2 seconds. He's pretty much, without an issue, has this wrapped up. So Light will have 12, just about 12 miles remaining at the start-finish line. But you got to give credit to Aiden Young for the way he's really fought in this one. He has, in my opinion, nothing to be ashamed of one bit. You know, Aiden comes in, he's already got 2 wins on the season in 4 starts. He's already locked into the playoffs. Definitely another good run that will help him out towards the championship for sure. Pick up some more points and definitely help him out to try and get the regular season championship and maybe a couple of playoff points too to the resume. Another driver we should give huge shout outs to is this guy in the number 05 or number 5 if you want to put it in Isaac Salas. He has had a rough Thursday night. As a guy who's probably the best dirt modified driver on the Coast to Coast Racing League, he has really stepped up to the plate in this. He started from the back, decided not to qualify. This kid has a 592 road course I rating. He started in 22nd because he didn't qualify with that low I rating and has made his way all the way up to the 6th position. Just ran an absolutely clean race. There are 5 drivers at the moment on the racetrack that have under 10 off tracks, and he is one of those 5. So well done from Salas. Patrick Spangler's also been consistent as well. Want to give him credit too. You know, he's been a couple of on and off situations in the Thursday night races. Definitely a good 4th place way to go out here in the Training Wheels Racing Golf number 39. We've got an incident with Butch Baker again, I believe. Yes, and he's got no front end at all. Say no hood to be corrected. I think this is just the patient situation for Butchie. Yeah. No steering out of that 97. We got an issue with Jeremy Tate. Entering turn 11. Just really slow. Not bad night for him. But yeah, Spangler, what impressed this evening. Kyle Moonen up 5 spots. We haven't seen him a lot this evening. He loves the Asphalt League. Started in 10th position and running in 5th. The closest battle we have on the racetrack is for 12th. Jeff Kemper and Brian Lawson, and Lawson's been trying to reel him in the last 5 laps, and there you see how it's looked. Kemper has had a couple of issues, and I believe this is actually related to pit stops. I think it is. Yeah, Kemper actually just pitted a lap ago as he's trying to make tires work to the end. Now the thing is he's 5.8 seconds behind Colin Johnson at the moment, and Johnson's had some issues. Take a look here at the off-track side of things. It's been pretty tight. Actually, it's been 15 to 61. Johnson's been trying to use asphalt to his advantage. Probably a minority of them, obviously, have been spins. So, see what happens. Bob Light has left 9 drivers on the lead lap today. Next guy he would lap is Matthew Robinson, who's coming across the start-finish line now. Two to go for Bob Light, and I am not rooting for him, just a heads up, because obviously you guys see the SJRNRS and trackside logos. We're, you know, just trying to give some support to the Krite Sim Racing team and get some exposure here. Definitely appreciate Preston Cranmer for an opportunity to get on the car. But as a commentator, I remain neutral in all these things. Dwayne Simons has put the 25 in the pits. I think he is done for the day. It's not been the day he's really wanted. Gap is wide open, 8.8 seconds, and no mistakes pretty much, and this is all his. I think when you look at some of the other drivers here, Steven Goldner has stayed consistent in this one. He's running in third. 6X when it comes to off track. We expected him in the big block race, but only spectated that just to watch his Vanderbilt teammates, see how they do. Nice run for him. In third spot, he's 16 seconds ahead of Patrick Spangler for the podium, and Baker has crashed it, and that's in a pretty good spot. Checking where that is, and that's off of turn 20. Locks him up in turn 19. And then cooks it in turn 20, sends that car sideways. Luckily doesn't impact the wall. But coming to the line for Bob Light in the number 77, the Epsilon Sprint Wraps. Slide Job Racing Network, RSN Trackside Ride. There'll be one lap to go for the 77, the best road course driver that we have seen in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Whenever you see him on the entry list for a road race, he is always the favorite. And if he loses a GT3 race and he's in it, it's always a shocker. But Light was the driver to beat. He had a huge challenge from Aiden Young throughout this race. The gamble from Aiden Young does not pay off, and Light's under 3 miles away from taking the win. He can just be consistent here. Just don't even push it if you're Bob Light, and he's got the win wrapped up. We win one of the season and put him in the playoffs. Would be our 5th different winner of the season in 6 races and a 12-man playoff on the Xfinity Trail. Of course, only one repeat winner this season. That's Aiden Young with 2. Battle for 4th is far from over. That's coming across the line. Patrick Spangler and Kyle Moon, and we will watch that with you once Bob Light comes across the line, making his way to the amphitheater observation tower corners. You see some rear end damage on the 77, but that's like that for pretty much every driver today. And Spangler, from reports, has lost some time to Kyle Moon, and he's 7/10 back, but we'll watch it with you in just a moment. But coming through turns 19 and 20, he came close at Auto Club. There is no coming close today. The best car here through turn number 20, Bob Light, takes the COTA Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. What a win for the 77. Hayden Young should not be ashamed of this one. A great second place finish. And now we go to the race for fourth at the end with some points on the line between Vanderbilt's Kyle Moonen and Training Wheels' Patrick Spangler. There you see the time delta in each sector. It's been very close. Here we go. Lock up from Moonen. Spangler takes advantage of it. He's up to fourth as they're in the technical part. Steven Goldner makes his way through turns 19 and 20 to finish in the third position in this one. Good run for him. This one is not over yet through turn number 18. Moonen may have one last shot, but he's 0.6 of a second back. Think it'll end just short here. So Spangler on a last lap pass through turn 20, no issues here. And he'll take fourth position from Kyle Moonen. What a pass, and Spangler will be hyped on that for sure. It's Bob Light, the winner this evening. And we'll talk with your top three in just a couple moments. Get them all in as soon as we can. So all we just need is Steven Goldner, then we can begin the proceedings. But it's Bob Light, win number 1 of the season. The driver of the 77. There you see both Barneys, twin Barneys today, to be specific. They will pause for a photo Roger Craig will take, and you can see the post-race recap on the Coast to Coast Racing. I think it's burnout time for Bob Light. He's ready to light him up. I think he's really hyped over this one. Fans definitely liked what they saw here today. I think they want him at the start-finish line. They do. Thought for a moment Bob disconnected. Here we come for the photo. And all Steven just has to do is stop and join the Discord, and we'll get him in here. Again, next week for the Xfinity Trail will be the Richmond Raceway, which should be a fun one to watch. Of course, you can see that next Thursday on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Spangler's going to do a burnout for that last lap pass in 4. He's going to have fun with that. I don't blame him. Well, let's not distract the fact that Bob Light did win today. So, all right, I guess we'll just get on. Oh, nope, we do have Steven. He just joined in. All right, we got Steven Goldner here. Steven, I guess a quiet one from you today, but you do finish on the podium. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, it's not really a place I'd think I'd get a podium. The truck race definitely helped having laps earlier in the week here. But it was a good race. I made a lot of mistakes early when I was pressured with Zach Chapman and Patrick there. But, you know, they made a couple of mistakes too, and I was able to drive away, and I could just kind of cruise and be comfortable and hit my marks and try to put good laps down.
Other than that, what positives do you take away from this run?
anytime I'm on the podium in a NASCAR race is a positive for me. It's a lot of fun, a little bit of boost of confidence. We'll be taking next week off, but hopefully the following week we can be back here talking to you.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank all the Benny Boat guys, everything they do. Wegman Brothers, Battle.com, Ross Corina at Velocity Race Designs, Fit to Perfect Photography, Moon and Race Engines, you guys for the broadcast, Roger, everyone with the league. And yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great run, and hopefully we'll see you on Monday, too.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's Stephen Goldner, our third-place finisher. Nice run for the driver of the number 30. Let's pop that up as well. There it is. Second-place finisher with the silver medal tonight, Aiden Young. Aiden, tough pill to swallow, man. What more did you need for Bob this evening? You put on one hell of a challenge against him.
I don't know.
Well, I guess I'll ask you this. I believe your last stop, did I see you took fuel only?
Yes, sir.
Was that just a plan, because you were a couple seconds behind and you wanted to make up some ground, try and take the lead with, Coda being kind of a tough place to pass?
Yeah, kind of, and I just felt like it might have held up, but clearly I didn't hold up that well.
Was it just as well possibly to the tire situation? I saw you trying to get back on the throttle, but it looked like you spun the tires just a bit.
I think that was just driver errors. I think the tires were okay, just driver wasn't being patient.
You put on a good run. Other than that, any other positives you take away?
Yeah, just got to be better, I guess.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
I got to thank Gambler Motorsports as always, obviously Young Gun Creations, and obviously you for broadcasting.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great run.
Thanks.
Aiden Young finishing second, obviously disappointed, but shouldn't be ashamed about that run. He put on a good fight against an incredible road racer. Time to go to Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Your winner, first time this season on the trail, Bob Light. Bob, we had you in as the favorite this evening, but I did not expect a challenge from Aiden Young like that, man. Wow.
I'm telling you, man, he was all over me. That's the thing. He's tough. You get him behind you, he's not going to let you get away.
Did you expect him on the final pit stop to take a gamble and take fuel only instead of 4 tires on his final stop?
I didn't expect it, but I got to thinking I would have done the same thing. As tough as it is to pass, you got to do something different to try to get the lead, and he did. But I wasn't sure if he changed none or 2, but I could tell, the first lap there, he was dirt tracking pretty bad, so I kind of figured he didn't take any.
How much time did you put in to Coda this week to this tonight? Because obviously we know you're one of the best road racers on the Coast to Coast Racing League. This is like your playground.
Yeah, I probably practiced a good 3 or 4 hours. I know the track pretty well, but not with an Xfinity car, so it took a while to get used to.
Absolutely, it can be tough because you're using the H pattern shifters and not the paddle shifters and the sequential. So next week you got Richmond. What's your outlook look like? Obviously, you've been close at getting a win in the Xfinity Series this season. What does Richmond fare to you coming up next week?
Yeah, I like Richmond. I like the smaller tracks like that. Hopefully, can stay out of trouble. I know that track can have a lot of chaos at times, but should be fun.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the win?
Yeah, Epsilon Sprint Wraps and my teammates Jeremy Jacob and the boss Preston, and Slide Job Racing Network, RSN Trackside, and Maconi Setup Shop, and as always, Coast to Coast, and you guys for doing the broadcast. It's appreciated.
Yeah, you better think SJR and RSN Trackside. If not, we would be having a discussion afterwards. Kidding,
okay.
man. Kidding, man, because those are my sponsors. So, but we'll let you go. Congrats on the win. Enjoy this one. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Bob Light, your winner. First win of the season in Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Congratulations to him on the win. You see him there in Victory Lane still enjoying this one. So that pretty much does it for this evening. Let's pull up the official results. Bob Light, your winner. Aiden Young, second. Stephen Goldner, third. Patrick Spangler 4th, Kyle Moonen 5th, Isaac Salas 6th, Andrew Smith 7th, Jeff Barker 8th, Matt Robinson 9th, Mark Gilbert rounds out the top 10. Rest of the field looks like this. Of course, you see 11 through 20 on your screen. 21st went to Zach Chapman, 22nd Tim Chapman, 23rd Pat Boyce. So that'll do it for us. Here's what's coming up next week, presented by Dylan Westbrook Racing. We don't have the graphic up for you, but we will tell you what's coming up next week. Monday Night Madness with the 360 Sprint Cars at Lucas Oil. Broadcast begins at 8 p.m. I'll be on the call on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Tuesday's Topside Tuesday. Oh, yeah, Monday's brought to you by the Oshweekend Speedway. Tuesday is Topside Tuesday, brought to you by Coolray. We've got, on the broadcast, we've got Pro Late Models at Lernerville, and then the Truck Trail at Texas Motor Speedway, which should be fun. Wednesday night, Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Heroes. We've got the Sprint Cars at Knoxville and the Late Model Cars Tour at South Boston. And then next week for Thursday Night Thunder, small and big blocks at I-55, and the Xfinity Trail goes to Richmond. So that'll do it for us this evening. On behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing Network, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, and the fine group of admins that control the show each and every day and night, I'm Marty Scala signing off. Congratulations to your race winners this evening. It's been one heck of a night here. Incredible racing. We'll see you next Thursday night. So long, everyone.